Time once again for high school football, brought to you through Adelphia Cable by the volunteers of its Public Access Department. Tonight's contest, the Raiders of Rutland High School will take on the MSJ Mounties in a crosstown rivalry. Production crew for tonight's game include producer Joe Courcelle, cameramen Ken Bates and Merle Oustlay. And for your announcers will be the incomparable Craig Saia and Jack Healey of WSYB Radio.
Craig, you saw your first MSJ Rutland game last year. Of course, you had the extra bonus of the state title game between the two. Now you're looking at it from the St. Peter's Field perspective.
It's a jam-packed place, Jack. There's people lying all over the field. They're in the end zones and in pickup trucks, and expecting a good game. The field's in excellent shape, and just an absolutely gorgeous fall day for football. And weather shouldn't be a problem. The field's in good shape, and both teams are coming on a roll. They put a couple wins in a row together. Rutland probably played their best game of the season last week against the unbeaten Fairhaven team. Did a good job, and expecting a lot of things here. And both teams are able to run the ball and also pass the ball in strong defenses. So we expect probably a tough, hard-fought game.
Of course, the only Mountie loss to Mount Anthony, and the only Raider loss to Essex. And Essex is in the postseason after the win last night over BFA 6-0. As a matter of fact, just 4 rows down from where we're standing right now. Essex head coach Bruce Wheeler, and they'll undoubtedly be playing one team or another. It's possible for Essex, depending on other situations, possible for Essex to move up to the 3rd spot, but they'll be playing one team or the other here, if indeed they are the 4th team in the playoffs. The captains meeting in midfield, we've mentioned, of course, all week and in our pregame show that Matt Sharon and Mike Oustlay both out with injuries, but they're both in uniform for their senior year MSJ Rutland game, and they are out at midfield. Again, Matt Sharon, Mike Oustlay, and Matt Baraldi, the Mountie tri-captains, meeting with Keith Parker, Luke Dauphiné, Kevin Burgoyne, and Steve Carey, the Raider quad captains. We mentioned already in our opening comments, it was a day like this 2 years ago here at St. Peter's Field. The temperature in the mid-70s, and a day like this back in 1978, the first MSJ Rutland game played at Alumni Field. The temperature that day in the mid-70s, and we couldn't ask for more as far as the weather is concerned. And what a crowd here at St. Peter's Field as the people continue to file in here. And of course, people had ample opportunities to pick up their tickets in advance here, and people that are picking them up at the gate might be shut out just a bit. They'll get in, but they might miss some of the action. MSJ has won the toss, and they will receive, defending the goal off to our right. Rutland will be kicking off, defending the goal off to our left, and that's the way it'll go here in the first quarter in the 58th annual MSJ Rutland game at St. Peter's Field. Rutland's up in the series 29-22 with 6 ties, and never again will there be a tie. Also, Rutland has won 2 straight city classics, and you win 3 games, you get to retire the Veterans Council trophy, and that's another added incentive for Rutland, and MSJ would like to stop them from being able to do that. We'll continue with more on our pregame show from St. Peter's Field after this 60-second timeout. MSJ Rutland football game here as the Raiders are being introduced to the full house crowd here, and the Mounties will be introduced momentarily by PA announcer Sam Rizzuri. Don't forget, at the end of the game today, we will have 2 of Pasquale's 12th Player Award winners, the unsung hero for MSJ, the unsung hero for Rutland High, and both will receive, depending on which side of the football they're on, either a Mountie steak sandwich or a Raider steak sandwich, plus the Mountie or Raider victory caps. A lot of victory caps here. They've been giving them away, and everywhere you look, you see either a Mountie or a Raider victory cap from Pasquale's. We'll also have a J.P. Carrera & Sons MVP for both teams. Both MVPs get all the souvenirs from J.P. Carrera & Sons. And also today, at the conclusion of the ball game, we'll be selecting a Rutland High Player of the Game and an MSJ Player of the Game. And both will be the same players, the J.P. Carrera & Sons MVP. And Vermont National Bank will be awarding a $500 scholarship donation to each school on behalf of the players of the game. The $500 check from the Vermont National Bank and an individual award for each player of the game will be presented at the Elks Club banquet coming up later this fall. Vermont National Bank will also be presenting a plaque for each school's trophy case with the name of the player of the game and the date, of course, October 26, 1991. MSJ and Rutland here for the 58th time. One thing, Craig, MSJ won the toss, they'll receive, and to my knowledge, nobody deferred. Generally, in a big game like this, you'd like to start on the defense to get those butterflies out of your stomach a little bit.
I think Coach Legale's thing is he wants to get his offense out on the field and get them going, and I think a key to the day's game will be how that offense performs. If they can stay away from the penalties and turnovers, they have their type of team with strong running backs. They can just pound the ball out all season long. Rutland has given ground but not given up that many points, and MSJ with their strong offensive line, like we said, the power backfield can really run. Also, as Coach Beerworth referred to Scott Oustlay as probably the best player in the state, the most explosive players, to tend to agree that Scott Oustlay has outstanding speed. He has a very strong arm and a very strong presence in the game. I think he's going to be a key to the game. If he can get outside and run around like he does, he can cause a lot of havoc. Also, if he gets time to throw that strong arm, he's going to be able to cause problems passing. Defensively for Rutland, I think a key is going to be the defensive ends. Justin Anderson and Kenny Bates. They both got good size. They're big, strong players. If they can get containment and keep Scott Oustlay under control and also put some pressure on him defensively when he's trying to pass, I think that'll be a big key to the Rutland success.
Of course, we're right in the middle of the MSJ rooting section. We might add that you will be able to watch this game on Channel 15 on Monday night. Ken Bates, Sr. is here across the way. Hi, Ken. And he is one of our cameramen. And also Merrill Oustlay is here on the near sideline. Merrill is also a cameraman for this game. Give me a wave, Merrill, if you can hear me. All right. So we'll be seeing a different perspective on Monday night on Channel 15. Back we are at St. Peter's Field. The Raiders have been introduced. The Mounties being introduced right now. As I look down, of course, there are a lot of familiar faces here. Mike Joyce is here, who scored 4 touchdowns in MSJ's victory in 1985 here at St. Peter's Field. One of 2 Mountie players to score 4 touchdowns in the MSJ Rutland game. Rutland has had 3 players to do that. Terry Swain and Ballard and Trombley also in the early years are about.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. On the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets recall the bells bursting give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Nice job on the national anthem by Erica Chapman, and we're set. This will see Pete Rosieri also at a running back spot for MSJ. Scott Oustlay, Pete Rosieri, and Ryan Birkenhead back deep for the Mounties. The winner gets city bragging rights, and also, perhaps even more important than that, and that could have been said a few years ago, but also will get the number 1 seed. But both teams are in the playoffs. Their season, both teams will continue their seasons next week in the semis. Sea of red and green here at St. Peter's Field as Buzzard gets set to do the booting here at the onset of the football game. Buzzard getting ready. Here's the kick, and the 91 MSJ Rutland football game is underway. Seitz with it across the 25, across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Nate Seitz, an up man, took the opening kickoff, tackled by Eric Gauthier, and the Mounties will go on the offense here. 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line, going right to left here in the first quarter. The market at the left side hash mark. Beautiful day for football, the temperature in the mid-70s. Fleming is over the football. Greg Oustlay is in now, and he's wide left. Tight right McGrath. They operate out of the I, and the wing back on the left side is Birkenhead. He's in motion left to right. Oustlay is the quarterback for MSJ. Hand off to Baraldi, straight ahead, gets a couple to the 35. Pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. A few Raiders there to bring them down. Scott Getz leading the way for Rutland High.
We didn't think that Matt Sharon and Mike Oustlay would dress in the game. Both are dressed, but they're not in on the first offensive series here for the Mounties.
Stevens was in on that play. He's out as Nate Seitz is in for MSJ. Mounties have it just shy of their own 35, 2nd and 8. Seitz the up back, Baraldi the deep back out of the I. The ends are tight, and Birkenhead is a wing on the right. Oustlay barks him out, gets the snap. Deep handoff to Baraldi off right tackle, and he squeezes his way out to the 38-yard line. He's dropped there by Steve Carey, and also Keith Parker there on the stop. They're going to mark it at the 38, pickup of 3, and the Mounties will have it 3rd and 5.
We thought Mounties would come out early on, try to establish your power running game as we've been doing, and again, Steve Carey in on the tackle of the Raiders. Steve did a terrific job all season long making tackles and filling holes in his inside linebacker position.
First offensive series of the football game, no score, 10:39 remaining first quarter. Wide left, Oustlay, wing left is Birkenhead. The Mounties operate out of the I, and Birkenhead's in motion left to right. Oustlay gets the snap, drops it back, rolls right, looking, he's going to keep, and Oustlay is tackled after maybe losing a yard. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage. It was the sophomore Jacob Downey on the tackle. Give him a pickup back to the line of scrimmage, back to the MSJ 38. It'll be 4th and 5 for MSJ, and they'll have to boot it away here.
That time, Scott Oustlay rolled away from us in the press box over to Kenny Basin. Kenny Basin, the defensive end over there, did a good job of getting containment and allowed Jacob Downey to track Scott down and make the tackle.
Back deep, Eric Gauthier and Kevin Burgoyne for the Raiders, back around the Raider 30. Oustlay back to boot for the Mounties around the Mountie 26, and he gets the boot away, and this will sail to Burgoyne at the 23-yard line, and he put his knee down. Wanted to go in the reverse to Gauthier, but he put his knee down, and so the Raiders will start right there, 1st and 10 at their own 23. Raiders offensively, Keith Parker at center, Dauphiné and Blanchette at the guards, Bride and Washburn at the tackles, the ends Matt Mackin and Justin Anderson. Eric Bliss will see action, the quarterback John Stenpeck, the starters in the backfield Kevin Burgoyne and Steve Carey, the wing back Nathan Belomo.
Very important that Rutland gets a good game out of quarterback John Stenpeck. He really had a good game last week against Fairhaven. They're going to need him to probably do a little bit of passing to keep the Mountie defense off balance, and John has answered all the challenges all season long.
Stenpeck the quarterback, couple of setbacks, Burgoyne and Carey. The ends are tight, Anderson and also Mackin, and Belomo's in motion right to left as the handoff goes to Carey off left tackle, and he gets it across the 25 to about the 26, pickup of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Raiders, and on the tackle Ryan Cragen for MSJ. MSJ defensively, Oustlay, Greg Oustlay and Craig Stevens at the ends, Larry Hare, Keith Kaloche at the tackles, the linebackers Matt Baraldi and Ryan Craig, in the corners Willie McGrath and Pete Rizzeri, Scott Oustlay, Tim Brisbane and Ryan Birkenhead, the secondary. Raiders have it 2nd and 7 at their own 26-yard line. Their first offensive series of the football game. Play action, Stenpeck throws it right, complete to Burgoyne, gets it across the 35, and he's driven out of bounds here near sideline, right around the Raider 38-yard line. Pickup of 12, Willie McGrath over here to bounce him out of bounds. It's a Raider first down, but there's a penalty marker down. Hold the phone. And I think it's going to go against the Raiders. They'll wipe this one off the board.
Play has worked very well for the Raiders in the last couple of games. They just run Kevin Burgoyne right out of the backfield into the flat. He's got good speed, and he's able to use that speed to get down the sideline, but there was a holding penalty, so the first penalty of the game goes against the Raiders.
So they will mark this back 10 yards for holding. No score, 8:44 remaining first quarter. MSJ got the opening kickoff, had to punt. And the Raiders on their first offensive series, they have it back at their own 15-yard line now. And they have it 2nd down and 17. Mark it at the left side hash mark. Keith Parker to the center. He leads the club out of the huddle. He's over the football. Setbacks are Burgoyne and Carey. Wing on the right is Belomo. We're in what they call the load formation. Stempeck back to pass, rolls right, throws downfield. It goes incomplete. And we have a pass interference call against MSJ. The intended receiver, Justin Anderson, up around the Raider 35. But pass interference called against Ryan Birkenhead. However, I believe there's another penalty marker. Or not. Is that the only penalty marker?
When I say Stembeck that time did a good job of rolling out, got outside containment, threw the ball deep downfield to Justin Anderson. When Ryan Birkenhead made his break on the ball, he got his feet tied up with Justin Anderson and tripped him down, and it's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, 15-yard penalty for pass interference. I thought they might have thrown another one there. But it is first down for Roughlin High, the 15-yard penalty for pass interference against MSJ, and the Raiders have it at their own 31-yard line. Couple of great friends there, Justin Anderson for the Raiders and Ryan Birkenhead for the Mounties, and a pass interference call. First and 10, Raiders their own 31-yard line, going left to right here in the first quarter at St. Peter's Field. Stempeck now, play action, drops it back, looking, shoots left, and it goes incomplete. He overthrows both Burgoyne and Eric Bliss up around the Raider 45-yard line. So it'll be second and 10 for the Raiders, their own 31. No score, 8:34 remaining first quarter here at a jam-packed St. Peter's Field.
Coach Bidworth trying to go the air early on, hoping to kind of loosen up the tough Mountie defense and try to get some ground over the air. Also, kind of get the defensive back so they're playing a little bit softer, then maybe open things up for the running game.
The market at the left side, hash mark. Burgoyne and Carey will be the setbacks. Anderson tight right, Mackin in tight left, wing left Belomo. John Stempeck, the junior quarterback, second and 10 from the Raider 31. Belomo in motion left to right now. Stempeck now on the handoff to Carey. Brings it wide right, and he's dropped after he picks up about 4 to the Raider 35-yard line. Willie McGrath on a nice open field tackle along with Mike Mulcahy. So the Raiders will be faced with a third down here. Third down and about 5. Just across their own 35, we'll call it the 36.
Looked like Steve Carey had quite a bit of running room that time, but both Willie McGrath and Mike Mulcahy did a good job of pursuing, and that's one of the strengths of this Mountie defense. They have very good pursuit. They have good size and some good quickness.
Lomo down, wing on the right, Bliss is in, he's wide left. Setbacks Burgoyne and Carey behind John Stempeck. In motion, Belomo right to left, third down play for the Raiders. Back to pass, Stempeck shoots it left, and it is incomplete, broken up by Pete Rizzilli on a nice defensive play up around the Raider 45. The intended receiver was Nathan Belomo. Big play by Pete Rizzilli. It's 4th and 5 for the Raiders, their own 36. He'll have to boot the football away here.
Actually, on that particular play, Pete Rizzilli actually had better position on it than Nathan Belomo. Pete did a good job of cutting in front of it, and Nathan Belomo actually, even though he was the offensive player, did a good job of breaking it up, and the Raiders off the punt here for the first time today.
Justin Washburn back around his own 21 to boot it away for the Raiders. Birkenhead and Scott Oustlay back around the Mountie 30-yard line. No score, 7:48 remaining here in the first quarter. Snap a little high, but Washburn's got it and gets the boot away. Birkenhead calls for a fair catch, and he makes the catch at the Mountie 41-yard line. So the Mounties with pretty good field position here. First and 10 at their own 41, going right to left in the first quarter.
The Mounties able to pick up about 10 yards there in the exchange of punts. Both teams usually get some points or get some big plays off their special teams, but both teams, both the Raiders and the Mounties, have very strong special teams, both coverage and return, so they might kind of negate something. We'll see if somebody can get an advantage off the special teams.
Jeremy Fleming leads the Mounties over the football for MSJ. Greg Oustlay brings it wide left, tight right McGrath. The up back, now the tight end on the left side is Oustlay. The up back is Seitz, deep back Baroldi out of the eye. Oustlay back to pass. Scott Oustlay looking, shoots it right, and it goes incomplete off the fingertips of Ryan Birkenhead down around the Raider 46-yard line. Kevin Burgoyne got a hand on it too, I believe, and Gauthier also doing a nice job defensively for Roughlin High. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Mounties at their own 41-yard line.
Both teams showing their respect to the other team's defense by going to the air, trying to loosen things up. That time Scott Oustlay had good time. It's the best down to throw on first down. Usually don't get quite the pass rush, but that time Kevin Burgoyne did a good job covering Ryan Birkenhead.
Both Seitz and Rizzilli are in now for the Mounties. 7:34 left first quarter. No score here. The 58th MSJ Roughlin football game at St. Peter's Field. Rizzilli is wide right. Mounties operate out of the eye. Oustlay gets the snap. Oustlay now on the handoff to Rizzilli on the reverse, and he gets it across the 45 and then rumbled out of bounds just about at the 45, the Mountie 45, and he was driven out of bounds by Matt Mackin, who picked up 4. And the Mounties will be faced with a 3rd down and about 6 at their own 45-yard line.
That time again, the Mounties trying to get the ball to Pete Rosieri. He has the most speed back there. Came around the end, but again, the Raiders did a pretty good job of holding position, and Matt Mackin able to run him out of bounds.
So a 3rd down, a long 5 for the Mounties, their own 45-yard line. Baldy and his sights are the setbacks. Birkenhead a wing on the left. He's in motion now, left to right. Scott Oustlay gets the snap. And off to Sights, right tackle across the 50 into the Raider 48. It's a Mountie first down. First down of the ball game for MSJ. A pickup of about 7, maybe 8 yards on that one. Ken Bates and Eric Bliss on the tackle. So the Mounties have the ball in Raider territory for the first time this afternoon.
Nate Sights, the big, strong fullbacks, had a couple 100-yard rushing games this season, and that time he just rolled straight ahead, a little bit of a hole, able to get the first down and give the Mounties their first down of the game.
No score, 7:21 remaining first quarter. Beraldi and Stevens are the setbacks. Wide left, Greg Oustlay. Wing left is Birkenhead. 1st and 10 MSJ, the Raider 48. Birkenhead in motion left to right. And a handoff to Stevens straight ahead. Inside the 45, inside the Raider 40, and down at the Raider 38-yard line. Pick up of close to 10 yards. Scott Getz on the tackle for Rough and High. They're going to mark it just shy of first down yardage here. It'll be 2nd down and less than a yard for MSJ at the Raider 39.
This is what we expect to see out of Mounties, just pounding their big fullbacks. Beraldi, Stevens, and Sights into the Rutland defense. They've got a couple first down already, just short of one now.
2nd down and less than a yard for the Mounties, the Raider 39-yard line. Couple of setbacks behind Scott Oustlay. Get in motion, Birkenhead left to right. Oustlay gets the snap, and he takes it right on the option. He's got room, and he jumps his way inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line, picks up 5, and a Mountie first down. Eric Gothier on the tackle for Roughlin High. So the Mounties on the move here. 1st and 10 at the Raider 34. No score, 6:37 remaining first quarter.
That time Scott Oustlay was able to get around the outside after faking the inside handoff, and that's a good key. The defensive ends have got to shut him off as Scott able to use that speed to get around the corner and pick up the first down.
Greg Oustlay tight left, McGrath tight right. Rosieri and Sights are the setbacks behind Oustlay. Birkenhead now a wing on the left, and he's in motion left to right. 1st and 10 for the Mounties. And the handoff to Rosieri straight ahead. And little guy picks up a couple down to about the Raider 32. Carey on the tackle for Roughlin High.
Ran a little bit of a counter there. They pulled the backside guard, and Steve Carey did a good job of filling in there and dropping Rosieri after he got a short gain.
Give them 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for MSJ at the Raider 32-yard line. 58th annual MSJ Rutland football game here at St. Peter's Field. They mark it at the right side hash mark now. Tight right, McGrath. And we have a timeout. MSJ wants a timeout. And we'll be back after this 30-second break. MSJ at the Raider 32. No score, 5:47 remaining here in the first quarter. Jack Healey and Craig Saia. Mike Martin is our engineer this afternoon.
That's got an impressive drive. They started about their own 41-yard line, put a couple first downs together on the ground, and this is what we expected of them. Just kind of pound things out. The Raiders all season long, their defense has given up ground, but when they get down inside the 20, they really tough them. We'll see if they can stay through that and maybe turn away this drive.
They mark it at the right side hash mark. Rosieri is a wing on the left. Sights and Beraldi are the setbacks behind the quarterback, Scott Oustlay. In motion left to right, Pete Rosieri. Oustlay, play action, drops it back, looking, still looking. Fires complete to McGrath at the 15, and Willie McGrath is down at the Raider 12-yard line. A pickup of 20, and a Mountie first down. Mackin and Palomo on the tackle for Roughlin High.
Willie McGrath has really risen all season long. He's really picked up a slack when Matt Sharon went down. That time he came across on a drag pattern across the field, and again, Scott Oustlay with good time, able to deliver the ball across the middle, really in there for the big game.
Pickup of 20, 1st and 10 MSJ at the Raider 12. Left side hash mark as the Mounties go right to left here. Scoreless ball game in the first quarter. Motion now, Birkenhead left to right. Couple of setbacks behind Oustlay. On the handoff to Sights off right tackle inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line. Ken Bates there on the tackle. Steve Carey was there as well. Picked up 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for MSJ, the Raider 8-yard line.
This is where the running gets very tough because your offensive plays are limited, and as we talked about all season long, the Raiders have been able to kind of bend them between the 30-yard line, but once they got inside the 20 or 30, they've really stiffened, and it's going to be a tough challenge because the Mounties have a very strong running game. They can just keep pounding in at them.
Grab tight right, Greg Oustlay tight left. The setbacks are Stevens and Beraldi behind Scott Oustlay. Wing on the left is Birkenhead. 2nd down play for the Mounties at the Raider their 8-yard line. Birkenhead in motion left to right now, and we got penalty markers down. They might have taken too much time. Yes, they did. It's a 5-yard penalty for delay of game against MSJ. So they will have it second down at the Raider 13-yard line. Second down and about 11.
The Mounties exchanged the running backs to bring the plays in. This time we see Pete Reserve bring the play into Scott. Also, the play came in a little bit too slow that time, and they ran some motion, and it took a little bit too long to get the play off. The Mounties lose a tough 5 yards.
4:41 left first quarter, no score. So the Mounties have it second down and 11 at the Rutland High 13-yard line. We have an officials timeout now, so we'll wait and see what this is all about. Huge crowd here at St. Peter's Field, lined up around the fencing here, and the stands are packed. I don't know what the problem was. Maybe people are too close to the end zone. That's what it is. The referees are moving the fans that are lined around the end zone a few feet further back.
I don't think they moved yet.
I think they moved about 2 inches.
We talked about it. Dellison and the Rutland finest would ask the nice folks to move back a little bit. The problem is there's not really much room for them to move. As Shaq has been saying all along, just a jam-packed place, and they're lining the field on both sides, and they're really kind of crammed back into the end zone.
So still waiting for them to move back. And the play, got to give the players some room down there toward the right side of the end zone. No score, 4:28 remaining first quarter. MSJ and Rutland. All marked at the Raider 13. The Mounties have the football. They have it second down and 11.
I'm sure that once they move back in a few minutes, they'll be moving their way back forward again. So the police trying to get them back as far as they can.
Next week we'll have 1 or 2 Division I semifinal games for you on the air at WSYB, depending on the situation at the end of the day. They're still making announcements, still trying to make the fans move away from the sideline in the end zone. And I guess that they have moved back far enough.
They have a retaining wall on the backside. They're trying to get them behind the fence over there opposite from us.
Birkenhead wide left, Rosari wide right. The Mounties operate out of the eye. Second down play from the Raider 13. Oustlay on the handoff to Baraldi straight ahead. He's hit and maybe picked up a half yard as he got it to the 12-yard line. A few Raiders there to stack him up. Keith Parker was there to make the hit initially. Quad captain Keith Parker for Rutland High. They pick up about a half yard. We'll call it third down, a little over 10 yards to go for a Mountie first down at the Raider 12-yard line.
That time Keith Parker came on a stunt and able to get behind there and get penetration and stop the running back before he got to the line of scrimmage.
Missouri brings it wide right now. The up back is Stevens. Deep back Baraldi out of the eye. And we have a timeout. Another official's timeout again. We'll keep it right here. No score. Third down, a little over 10 for the Mounties at the Raider 12-yard line. Mounties operate out of the eye. Rosari again is wide right. Play action Oustlay. Rolls right. Looking. Still looking. Fires to the end zone. It is complete for the touchdown to Willie McGrath and MSJ draws first blood. The Mounties lead it 6-0. 12-yard touchdown pass from Scott Oustlay to Willie McGrath.
Willie McGrath wide open in the corner of the end zone. A blown coverage there. It looked like the Mounties, the Raiders just forgot all about him, and Willie McGrath found himself in the corner of the end zone. Couldn't believe he was wide open. Once he caught the ball, he was already in the end zone and tried to run some more, but he was in there. Again, Scott Oustlay rolling out, and then a very impressive drive as the Mounties go about 60 yards. They mix it up there on the ground, and also 2 big pass plays to Willie McGrath.
12-yard touchdown pass from Scott Oustlay to Willie McGrath. The Mounties lead it 6-0. 3:45 left first quarter. Matt Curran in to attempt the extra point for MSJ. Oustlay puts it down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. It's 7-0 MSJ. Back with a kickoff after this 30-second timeout. First here in the MSJ Rutland football game, edition number 58. Mounties lead it 7-0. 3:45 left first quarter.
We talk about the Mounties, the majority of the work on the ground, but Scott Oustlay with 2 big pass completions to Willie McGrath. One that got him a big first down and picked up about 20 yards. That one got him the touchdown. And the big game like this, often you have somebody who you don't expect to be a star stands up to the forefront. Whether it's because they get really psyched up or they just have to be in the right place at the right time. And so far, Willie McGrath has really stepped up. The Mounties and has put them ahead 7-0.
Gothier and Burgoyne back deep for the Raiders to receive the kick from Matt Curran here. Mounties draw first blood. MSJ leads it by a score of 7-0. Matt Curran getting set. Here's the kick, and it's a line drive. Burgoyne over the shoulder, drops it back around the 5, picks it up across the 10, takes it left, 15, and he's dropped just about at the 15-yard line by Ryan Birkenhead. So the Raiders have it first and 10, just across their own 15-yard line, going left to right here in the first quarter. Raiders trailing it by a score of 7-0.
The touchdown before this, and then the drop on the kickoff return have really fired up the Mountie faithful on our side, but the Raiders important that they can get a couple first downs, get a drive going, and get their fans are still fired up too, and kind of calm down some of the momentum here and just kind of settle things down.
Scott Oustlay did a nice job putting that snap from center down for Curran's extra point. First and 10 for the Raiders, just across their own 15. John Stempeck, the quarterback. Stempeck on the handoff to Sin. The sophomore sweeps it right, turns the corner at the 20, gets it out to about the 23-yard line. The sophomore, Jeff Sin, pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Ryan Cragen and Scott Oustlay on the tackle for MSJ. Jeff Sin, the brilliant sophomore from Rutland High. What a job he's done this year.
Jeff got a nice run that time. He almost broke a couple tackles, but the key to the Mountie defense is their pursuit. Ryan Cragen came all the way from his inside linebacker position with Scott Oustlay to knock him down after Sin had broken 1 or 2 tackles, but couldn't break the last one.
Second down, close to 2 for the Raiders. They're going to mark it at the Raider 24. Sin and Gallagher are the setbacks. Bliss is wide left, Anderson tight right. Sin in motion, the handoff to Gallagher straight ahead, and he's crunched after picking up a yard, maybe 2 at the Raider 25. Ryan Cragen there to lead the way defensively for MSJ. He had some help. It'll be shy of first down yardage. Third down, less than a yard for the Raiders. Shy of their own 25-yard line.
That also in there, and again, Ryan Cragen all season long has really picked up the slack when Mike Oustlay went down to the other inside linebacker position. And Ryan's made some big tackles. That time he filled the hole and just really stopped the running play before it got going.
2:08 left first quarter. MSJ in front by a score of 7-0. Ball marked just shy of the Raider 25. They have a third down, less than a yard. Right side hash mark. I think Keith Kaloche of MSJ having some equipment problems. He's all set. Jacob Downey is in the backfield. Now the Raiders want a timeout. Jacob Downey in the backfield, a sophomore along with Jeff Sin. So we got a timeout on the field. We'll be back after this 30-second break. 5-yard line, the Mountie touchdown, a 12-yard touchdown pass from Scott Oustlay to Willie McGrath.
A big third down situation here for the Raiders. They only got about a yard to go, but if they don't get the first down here, the Mountie's really going to have a lot of momentum after getting the touchdown and holding them on 3 down. But if the Raiders can get the first down and keep the drive going and kind of get themselves settled back into their offense.
Keith Parker leads the Raiders out of the huddle. He'll be over the football. Wide left is Mackin. Also wide left is Palomo. Load formation. Downey by the line of scrimmage. The setback is Sin. Downey is in motion right to left. And the handoff goes to Sin. Takes it left. He's got the first down and more as he gets it to about the 32-yard line or so. They're going to mark it at the 30. Picked up about 5. Pete Rosario wrestled him down for MSJ. They're going to mark it just shy of the 30. First and 10 for Rutland High School.
The time the Raiders went to the load formation where they split 2 wide receivers out wide, just kind of stretched things out a little bit, and Jeff Sin did a good job of picking his way through there. Pete Rosario came up from his cornerback position and made a nice open field tackle for the Mounties.
First and 10 for the Raiders, just shy of their own 30. They pick up the first down. They mark it at the left side hash mark. Palomo now a wing on the left. Wide left is Bliss. Couple of setbacks behind John Stempeck. Palomo's in motion left to right. And off to Downey, off right tackle. He took it right, then against the grain. Picks up a couple to the 32. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Rutland High. And the tackle made by Craig Stevens. Jacob Downey, another sophomore for Rutland High.
Again, Coach Beerworth resting his 2 defensive stars, Steve Carey and Kevin McGoyne. He's got Jacob Downey in there, also Jeff Sin. His idea is to keep McGoyne and Carey fresh for defense. Also, he'd like to have them in the 4th quarter when the other team is worn down, have those 2 guys with fresh legs so they can maybe get some big runs and just kind of control the ball in the 4th quarter.
Second down, long 7, we'll call it, for the Raiders at their own 32-yard line. 44 seconds left, first quarter. Palomo in motion left to right. Stempeck barks him out. Stempeck play action, drops it back, throws it right, and is it complete? No. Palomo almost came up with a great diving catch around the Raider 38-yard line, but it went incomplete. It'll be third down and a long 7 for the Raiders, their own 32, as the clock stops with 34 seconds left first quarter, 7-0 MSJ.
Willie McGrath almost made another huge play. He cut in front of the ball and almost had an interception. Probably would have gone all the way because there's no here in the flat. I don't think anybody would have caught him, but the ball just kind of got underneath him, and John Stenbeck dodged a bullet there as he almost had an interception. We said Willie McGrath would have had a big interception there and could have gone all the way for a touchdown.
Burgoyne and Carey back in now. The setbacks behind Stenbeck. Wide right is Eric Bliss. Anderson tight left. And the handoff to Burgoyne. Sweeps it left, looking for room, and he gets a couple to about the 35-yard line. Pickup of just 3. The Raiders will be faced with a fourth down here. Pete Mazzilli on the tackle along with Ryan Birkenhead. So Rutland High will have to boot the football away here with 15 seconds left first quarter. They have it at their own 35. Fourth down about 5.
Another big open field tackle there by Pete Mazzilli. It looked like Burgoyne might be able to get the first down, but again, Pete coming up and made a nice open field tackle and a very dangerous runner.
Justin Washburn back around his own 20 to boot it away to either Scott Oustlay or Ryan Birkenhead, but that's the end of the first quarter. They'll have to boot it the other way. So we've played 1 here at St. Peter's Field, and after 1, it's MSJ 7, Rutland nothing. Back after this 30-second timeout. The Raiders going right to left in the second quarter, MSJ left to right. The Raiders have it 4th and 5 at their own 35-yard line. Justin Washburn will boot it to either Ryan Birkenhead or Scott Oustlay. Back deep for MSJ around the MSJ 27-yard line. Washburn back at his own 20 to boot it away here. And the snap is a good one, and Washburn gets the boot away. And this will hit at the Mountie 36. Get inside, the 35 picked up by Oustlay, and he's tackled immediately at his own 33-yard line. So MSJ going on the offense, 1st and 10 at his own 33. Dauphiné on the tackle along with Kevin Burgoyne for Rutland High. Early going second quarter here at a jam-packed St. Peter's Field.
Last time the Mounties had the ball, they went about 60 yards and an impressive drive. We talked about how they missed it on the ground. Also a couple of big pass completions by Willie McGrath, and we expect more of the same here. The Mounties trying to set down. I don't think Coach Ngal will try anything too fancy now. He just kind of wants to stick to the basics and see if he can just kind of run some clock and gain some yardage.
Right left, Greg Oustlay, Willie McGrath tight right, couple of setbacks. Stevens and Baraldi behind the quarterback, Scott Oustlay. And off to Stevens, straight ahead. He's hit once and then spins for an extra yard as he got almost 2 out to the Mountie 34. Scott Getz on the tackle along with Jacob Downey.
And Jacob Downey doing a good job of filling from his inside linebacker position. Really stepped up and played a lot well since he got the start a few weeks ago. And also Scott Getz doing a good job filling the hole there.
It'll be 2nd and 8 for MSJ, their own 34-yard line, as Greg Oustlay comes out. Matt Baraldi in for MSJ. Left tight right, so Birkenhead will be an end tight left. The deep back Baraldi, the up back is Stevens. Out of the eye, behind is Scott Oustlay. Oustlay, play action. Rolls left, throws left, and it is incomplete. He wanted Ryan Birkenhead up around the Mountie 45. Birkenhead almost came up with a great catch, but out in the flat, and Ryan did a good job of going down. He kind of scooped the ball, but he dragged it across the ground. It was just underthrown a little bit. Jason Caruso was in on the offensive line on that play. He's out now. Right side hash mark. Couple of setbacks behind Oustlay. Oustlay play action, drops it back on 3rd down, and he fires, and it's intercepted by Carey at the 41. Carey takes it right, inside the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, and Carey down at the Mountie 18-yard line. Steve Carey on the interception, finally tackled by Jeremy Fleming. And the Raiders are in business now, 1st and 10 in Mountie territory, deep at the Mountie 18-yard line.
That's how they played a good deep zone defense. The Raiders, Steve Carey got a good drop from him, and Scott Oustlay kind of misrun it, threw the ball into the inside and hit Steve Carey right in the numbers, and Steve got an excellent return, gave the Raiders excellent field position at the 18-yard line of the Mounties.
On a 23-yard return with the intercepted pass by Carey, 1st and 10, Raiders at the Mountie 18. Couple of setbacks behind Stenbeck. The handoff to Sin, sweeps it left and against the grain, and he picks up a couple down to the Mountie 16-yard line. And Pete Mazzilli there to make the tackle. Also Keith Kaloje for MSJ. It'll be 2nd and 8.
So the Raiders get the first big turnover of the game, and they get, as we talked about, excellent field position. Very important they get some points out of here. Big momentum. They'll get them right back in the game. They're only down by 7. They have a great chance to tie things up now.
Well, it's 2nd and 9 for the Raiders. The Mounties 17, so Sin picked up a yard. 9:42 left first half. MSJ in front 7-0. Rutland is threatening. They're in the load formation. Gallagher up near the line of scrimmage. The setback is Burgoyne. And we got a penalty marker down. This might be... However, the Raiders tried to call timeout. The penalty marker's down. Did they call timeout before the penalty? Hold on here. I think they're going to discuss the situation here. Or did they wave it off? Delay of game. They are going to call it against the Raiders. And the Raiders with a timeout. MSJ and Rutland have 1 timeout left. The Raiders penalized for delay of game. They have it 2nd down and 14. Did MSJ take 1 timeout or 2?
Maryland's only taken 1. MSJ taken 1.
We have 2 more. Second penalty. Bliss and Belomo wide right. Gallagher up near the line of scrimmage. Burgoyne deep behind John Stempeck for Rutland High. And Gallagher's in motion left to right. Hand off to Burgoyne straight ahead. It's inside the 20 down to about the 17. Keith Kaloche on the tackle. Stevens was there to help out too. Picked up about 4 yards or so back to the line of scrimmage before the penalty. So it'll be 3rd down, about 9 for the Raiders at the Mounties 17.
I think the Raiders are in 4-down territory, so they might try to get all of it once. So they might try to get 5 here and 5 on the 4th down situation. But look for John Stempeck being a rollout. He has the option to run the ball or pass the ball.
Back in. He'll bring it wide right along with Belomo. Downey is in now along with Burgoyne. Behind Stempeck, Downey in motion. Stempeck back to pass, looking, and he swings it off right. Diving catch by Burgoyne, but it's going to lose yardage as he had to dive for it and come up with it right around the Mountie 19-yard line. That lost a couple, even though they completed the pass. It'll be 4th down and 11 for the Raiders at the Mountie 20-yard line.
They just ran Camera-Merle out wide, hoping to get him out in the flat, getting one-on-one the defender out there, and Johnny Stempeck just let him a little bit too much, and Camera-Merle had to dive down and make the catch.
They are in 4-down territory, so the Raiders go for it here. 7-0 Mounties, 8:18 left first half. 3 wideouts left. Bliss, Belomo, and Burgoyne. Downey is the lone setback behind Stempeck on 4th down for the Mountie 20. Stempeck back to pass. Being chased, drops it way back, sets up the screen. Anderson is complete. He'll lose yardage, though, as he's wrestled out of bounds by Keith Kaloche at the Mountie 24 at loss 4. The Mounties take over on downs.
A big defensive stand there by the Mounties. The Raiders had excellent field position, the 18-yard line of the Mounties, and they couldn't get in. In fact, they ended up losing about 5 yards, and really turns the momentum back to the Mounties. The Raiders had gotten the momentum back on when Steve Kerr made a big pass interception, but not able to get any points out of it, and really gives the crowd over here on a big lift here for the Mounties.
Well, the Mounties are able to withstand that Raider threat. They now have it 1st and 10. They're going to mark it at the Mountie 23-yard line. The Mounties going left to right here in the second quarter, and they lead it by a score of 7-0. Birkenhead in motion left to right as Oustlay barks him out. Oustlay goes to the first man and getting his way to about the 25-yard line. On the carry is Matt Beraldi. Picked up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. Scott Getz on the tackle.
After throwing the interception the last time, the Mounties going back to the basics, running on 1st down. Corson Galley has a tendency lately to throw the ball here on 2nd down. Let's see if he sticks that pattern or just tries to get the running game going and get a few first downs and improve his field position a little bit.
Give him an extra yard. Call it 2nd and 7 for MSJ. Their own 26. Just across their own 25, the nose of the football. Oustlay on the handoff to Beraldi. Off-play tackle across the 30 and out to the 35-yard line. Pick up of 9, close to 10 yards for Matt Beraldi at a Mountie 1st down. On the tackle, Eric Bliss along with Eric Gothier.
Matt Beraldi did a good job, a good haul there, came roaring through it. He got hit early on by Eric Bliss, but Matt was able to keep his legs going, able to spin out of it, and picked up a few more yards before he was wrestled down to the ground.
MSJ 7, Rutland nothing, 7-12 left first half here. The Mounties have it 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line, left side hash mark. They operate out of the power I behind Scott Oustlay. Oustlay on the deep handoff to Birkenhead. Almost broke a tackle, picks up about 3 out to the 38. Scott Getz wrapping them up for Rutland. 7. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Mounties, their own 38-yard line.
Scott Kent's making a lot of tackles now from his defensive tackle position. That time he had Ryan Birkenhead. It looked like Ryan was going to be able to spin out of it, but Scott able to hold right onto his ankles and wrestle him down the ground after Birkenhead picked up a couple yards.
Mountie touchdown in the first quarter, a 12-yard touchdown pass from Scott Oustlay to Willie McGrath. The up backs are Seitz and Baraldi. Deep back Stevens out of the power I. The ends are tight behind Scott Oustlay. Second down play. Oustlay down, the handoff to Stevens straight ahead. Stevens rumbles his way out to the 45-yard line, just shy of the 45. Got there on the tackle. Picked up about 7. Going to mark it at the Mountie 44. It'll be 3rd and 1 for MSJ.
Not only does the Mounties have a strong offensive line, they've got 3 or 4 guys in the backfield who can block very well. They're doing a good job blocking for each other.
Right side hash mark. Again, they operate out of the power I behind Oustlay. Oustlay keeps himself across the 45, and we're going to penalty marker down. Got it to about the 47. Picked up 3. It's a holding call, I believe, against MSJ. So they'll wipe that first down off the board and be penalized 10 yards. They'll have it back around their own 34 or so. MSJ in front 7-0, 5:54 left first half here at St. Peter's Field.
A tough break there for the Mounties. They had the first down on the quarterback sneak, but one of the interior linemen called for the holding penalty. We talked about how the Mounties have had a lot of penalties throughout this season, and it's kind of stymied some of their offensive drives, and they've been able to overcome it for the most part during the season. But I guess a really tough defense like the Raiders, they can't do that, and for the most part during this game, they've been able to stay away from the offensive penalties.
Mounties will have it at their own 34-yard line. 3rd down and about 11. Going left to right here in the second quarter. Raiders going right to left. Jeremy Fleming over the football. McGrath will be tight left. Tight right, Greg Oustlay. Scott Oustlay, the quarterback. The power I. Stevens and Seitz, the up backs. Baraldi, the deep back. 3rd down play for Oustlay and company. And Oustlay fakes and takes it left on the option. 40, 45, 50, 45. And he's finally dropped at the Raider 43-yard line. Scott Oustlay on the quarterback option. And what a fake by Scott Oustlay. He's been doing that all year.
Just a great fake by Scott Oustlay. The running back did a good job carrying out. Looked like it was Birkenhead, but the key again is Scott Oustlay got around the defensive end on that side. No containment. And when that happens, Scott Oustlay, one of the most dangerous plays in the state with that great speed he has, got down the sideline in a big game there. Again, the Raider defensive ends, they got to watch it. They got to make sure they get containment and don't let Scott Oustlay get outside.
A 24-yard pickup on the option by Oustlay. The Mounties have it 1st and 10 at the Raider 43-yard line. Again, they operate out of the power I. The ends are tight. Oustlay now, and the penalty marker down. Mounties will be called for illegal motion here as the handoff goes to Baraldi. He's dropped at the Raider 40 by Justin Anderson. If somebody jumped in the backfield, this will be a legal procedure against MSJ.
Again, the Mounties, we talked about the explosiveness of some of the Raider running backs, but with Scott Oustlay back there, the Mounties do have a game breaker themselves, and he showed his speed in that previous play. About the only team that's really been able to stop him from doing that was the Mount Anthony. That was the only game that the Mounties lost this season.
MSJ will have it 1st and 15 at the Raider 48. Illegal motion against MSJ here. 5:26 left first half. MSJ in front by a score of 7-0. Mounties will have it at the Raider 47 to be exact. Mark it between the hash marks now. Again, the power I behind Scott Oustlay, Baraldi, the deep back, and Birkenhead and Seitz are the up backs, and the ends are tight. First down play. Play action Oustlay. And he swings it off complete to Birkenhead inside the 45, down the sideline, rumbled out of bounds here, right around the Raider 40. Blissford going to carry all over there for Rutland High. They're going to mark it inside the 40 at the Raider 39-yard line. He picked up 8, close to 9 yards, and the Mounties will be faced with a 2nd down and about 7.
Offensive coordinator Ronnie Sabatasso for the Mounties doing a good job of mixing his plays up. He's got the Raider defense off balance, doing a good job of mixing the run and the pass.
Mounties have it at the Rutland High 39. Rutland and MSJ, and the Mounties are in front 7-0 with 5:11 left here in the first half. In motion, Birkenhead left to right. And the handoff goes to Seitz, looking for room off the right side, and he picks up a yard, maybe 2. Going to mark it at the Raider 38. Justin Washburn on the tackle along with Getz. third down and about 6 for MSJ. The Mounties with the lead, 7-0.
Coach Beerworth in the pregame talked about the importance of his offense being able to run and pass because he wants to keep the other team off balance. That's exactly what the Mounties are doing to him. They're running some, they're passing some. The Raider defense can't get a feel, and it's a good job of mixing up the plays by the Mountie coaching staff.
Always have it 3rd and 6, and they're going to mark it at the Raider 38-yard line. Brazili is in now, and he's a wing on the left. The ends are tight. Couple of setbacks behind Oustlay. Play action, Scott Oustlay looking. Shoots it left. It is complete to Seitz, and he's tackled immediately at the Raider 35. It only picked up 3, but we have a penalty marker down. We'll see what this is all about. It might be holding against MSJ.
He was thrown back in the offensive backfield where most time you do get a holding penalty. Again, that time Scott Oustlay with pretty good time. That time the defensive ends for the Raiders did a good job of containing him and keeping Scott back in the pocket. He was able to complete the pass to Seitz, but there is a penalty, and they are talking to the Rutland co-captains about the call.
One of the quad captains, actually, Steve Carey. It is a penalty for holding against MSJ, 10-yard penalty. I mentioned MSJ certainly has been troubled by penalties all year. That was a big one there. And this will mark it back into MSJ territory. MSJ will have it at its own 44-yard line. MSJ in front 7-0, 4:18 left here in the first half at St. Peter's Field. MSJ will have it 3rd down and 21 and its own 44. Mark it between the hash marks. McGrath wide right, slot right is Birkenhead. Mounties operate out of the eye behind Oustlay. 3rd and long. Oustlay drops it back. Looking, pumps once, and his pass is knocked down by Ken Bates on a great defensive play. Nice defensive play by Ken Bates, and MSJ will be faced with a 4th down and 21 and its own 44. Oustlay wanted to go long. He pumped once. On the second pump, when he let go, Bates knocked it down.
Oustlay looking for Ryan Birkenhead running an up and out pattern down the sideline. At that time, Kenny Bates did a good job of getting penetration from his defensive end position, got those big hands up. Kenny's about 6'3", got the arms up and just smothered the pass. And the penalties killed the Mounties on this drive. They cost them the punt here on 4th down.
Oustlay back to punt to either Burgoyne or Gauthier. Oustlay kicks from his own 36-yard line, gets the boot away, and Gauthier grabs it at his own 25 across the 30, avoids a couple of tackles, and then can't keep his balance and is ridden out of bounds across the way, right around the Raider 35. Ryan Gragan was there to actually just kind of tap him out of bounds and help him a little bit. So the Raiders go on the offense, 3:55 left first half, and MSJ in front by a score of 7-0. The Raiders have it just shy of their own 35-yard line.
About the Raiders had the field position at the inside the 20-yard line. The Mounties last time, it's about the first good field position they had in their own end on the other 35, and let's see what they can mix things up here. The Mounties really been controlling the ball here in the first quarter. The Raiders got only about 1 first down so far.
Anderson tight right, tight left, Mackin. Romo in the backfield now, full house backfield behind John Stenpeck. Stenpeck now on the handoff to Burgoyne, sweeps it right, looking for room. Burgoyne 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Burgoyne's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Kevin Burgoyne. 65-yard touchdown run for Kevin Burgoyne, and the Raiders are on the board. The Mounties lead at 7-6.
They talked about the big play capability of Kevin Burgoyne. Nothing fancy about that play, just a handoff off tackle, able to get outside. That time, nobody from the Mounties got containment, and Kevin Burgoyne just raced down the sideline. He's a sprint champion of the state of Vermont. Nobody caught him from behind. Nobody could get the angle on him, and just like that, the Raiders are back in here, and now the crowd on our side is kind of quiet, but the crowd across the Raiders all red, all cheering very much.
7-6 MSJ, a 65-yard touchdown run for Kevin Burgoyne. 3:44 left here in the first half. Rich Buzzard in to attempt the extra point here. And the snap is down. The kick by Buzzard is up. And the kick is good, and it's tied up at 7-7. Back with a kickoff after this 30-second break. Burgoyne, 65-yard touchdown run. Buzzard's extra point ties it. It's 7-7. 3:44 left here in the first half at St. Peter's Field.
Even though the Mounties have been controlling the ball a little bit more than the Raiders had, the penalties killed the Mounties on that last drive. They got the punt, and then Kevin Burgoyne showing that speed he has, goes 65 yards to tie things up here. We've got about 3 minutes and 44 seconds going in the first half. Plenty of time for the Mounties to get a drive going. Now it's important to see how they react. When after they got their touchdown, they were able to hold the Raiders on without a first down their first series. Let's see if the Raiders can do the same thing, or if the Mounties can put together one of those typical ground and out drives they've been known for all season long.
Scott Oustlay back deep along with Birkenhead and Rosieri for MSJ. Rich Buzzard will be doing the booting here. Tie ball game 7-7. Many people felt coming in. No clear-cut favorite in this one. Certainly a toss-up. I know it's easy to say that, but I think that's pretty much the case this year. Buzzard on the boot. And this will go to Birkenhead at the 16. The 20, across the 25, across the 30-yard line, out close to the 35 before he's dropped. Ryan Birkenhead, pretty good return. They're going to mark it at the 35. Luke Dauphiné on the tackle for Rutland High. So MSJ goes on the offense, 1st and 10, at its own 35-yard line.
Expect the Mounties just to go back to the ground game, just pound things out, mix a pass in there. They have been getting a good balance and keeping the Raider defense off balance, but they want to establish some first downs and get the momentum back on their side, even though the crowd's starting to come back up on the over here on the green side.
They mark it between the hash marks, 1st and 10 MSJ, their own 35, tied at 7-7, 3:20 left first half here at St. Peter's Field. Birkenhead in motion right to left, couple of setbacks. The handoff goes off the left side and getting his way across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. Craig Stevens and Steve Carey on the tackle.
And Steve Carey doing a good job. He gets some penetration from his inside linebacker position, able to trip up the running back just for a short gain here. And the Raiders really need to buckle down here, and they've got the momentum and try to stifle this drive. If they can get the ball back, maybe they can get another touchdown before the halftime.
2nd and 9 for MSJ at their own 36-yard line, going left to right. They have it at the left side hash mark. 3 wideouts right, Rosieri, McGrath, and Birkenhead. 1 setback behind Oustlay. 2nd down play. Oustlay on the handoff straight ahead to Sight. Sight's across the 40 to the 41. Picks up a quick 5. Steve Carey again on the hit for Rutland High. 7-7, 2:28 left first half.
That's how the Mounties had the 3 wide receivers on our side of the field, hoping to spread things out. And what they try to do is they try to pop Nate Sights back up the inside on a quick opener. And that time Steve Carey read it very well, able to fill in. But again, Nate able to pick up a few yards and put it 3rd down now.
3rd down, a long 4 for MSJ on its own 41-yard line. Again, 3 wideouts right. Sights the lone setback by Scott Oustlay. Oustlay now on the pitch to Sights. Takes it right across the 45, and Sights out close to the 50-yard line before he's dropped. Pickup of 9 for Sights. On the tackle, it was Carey and also Eric Bliss. They're going to mark it at the Mountie 49. 1st and 10 MSJ. 2 minutes straight up left first half. It's tied at 7-7.
Nate Sights is a big, strong kid. Goes over 200 pounds. Also has pretty good speed for someone his side. Just a quick pitch trying to get him outside. He broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage and able to get the first down.
Birkenhead wide left. McGrath and Rosieri also wide left. Tight right. Greg Oustlay Sights the lone setback. 1st and 10 Mounties, their own 49. Oustlay drops it back, shoots it left, slant in, complete to Birkenhead. Inside the 40 and down at the Raider 38-yard line. Eric Gauthier on the tackle. The slant-in pattern from Scott Oustlay to Ryan Birkenhead. A pickup of 11 and a Mountie first down.
And they run that pattern. What they do is they send 1 wide receiver straight down the field. He kind of clears things out. Ryan Birkenhead comes on the slant underneath it, and Scott Oustlay put the ball right on the money, and Ryan Birkenhead another big catch and gets a first down.
Now 3 wideouts right, and Stevens is the lone setback. 1st and 10 for the Mounties, the Raider 38. Quick drop, Oustlay fires right, and coming back to make the catch, and falling immediately to the deck, Ryan Birkenhead. Nice catch, but it only picked up a couple. Down to the Raider 36, and it'll be 2nd and 8 for MSJ.
We have about 1:10 to go here. I have the Mounties having 2 timeouts left here. I think they've only used 1, and also the clock stops when you get a first down, so the Mounties do have plenty of time here.
2nd down and 8 for the Mounties at the Raider 36. 58 seconds left first half. It's tied at 7-7. Oustlay barks him out, gets the snap, and the handoff to Barogan straight ahead. Picks up a couple to the 34. And Bates on the tackle along with Steve Carey, and now MSJ wants the timeout. So the Mounties will be faced with a 3rd down and about 6 when we come back. We'll be back after this 30-second break. Here in Rutland 7, 47 seconds left first half here in the 58th annual MSJ Rutland football game at St. Peter's Field. MSJ has it 3rd down and 6 at the Rutland 34-yard line.
The Mounties are probably in 4-down territory here. They probably will go for it on 4th down. They also have a good place kicker in Matt Carroll. The junior has pretty good range, probably from the 30-35-yard line of field goal range. So they will try to get to the 20 before they get into his range. But I think on the 4th down, they will probably go for it at this point. And they have been splitting out the 3 wide receivers this time and trying to maybe maybe look for Ryan Burkhead coming underneath or so.
Seitz is in, Rosieri is out. Seitz will be the up back, Beraldi the deep back out of the eye. Wide left, Birkenhead, wide right, Willie McGrath. Right side hash mark. Oustlay barks him out on third down from the Raider 34-yard line. Oustlay drops it back, pumps once, and let's fly toward the left sideline. Wanted Birkenhead, it goes incomplete, tried to outleap Matt Mackin. And Matt Mackin covered Birkenhead well as it went incomplete. It'll be fourth down and 6 for MSJ at the Raider 34-yard line.
That time they faked the quick slant pattern to Ryan Birkenhead, had him go to the outside. Scott Oustlay put the ball up to grabs, and Matt Mackin did a good job defending Ryan Birkenhead on that. 42 seconds left in the first half, tied up at 7 apiece here. Fourth down, 4-down territory. The Mounties go for it here. Missouri is a wing on the right. The up back is Seitz, deep back Beraldi out of the eye as Oustlay barks him out. Fourth down play. Oustlay drops it straight back, looking, shoots it right, and it goes incomplete, intended for McGrath. Down around the Raider 30-yard line. Burgoyne and Bliss were over there, and it might have been Burgoyne that got his hands on it to break it up, and the Raiders take over on downs, 1st and 10 at their own 34. The play happened right on front of the Mountie coaches, and they wanted to pass interference. Kevin Burgoyne came up very strong and hit Willie McGrath about the same time the ball got there, and the Mountie coaching staff was hoping to get a pass interference call, but a good aggressive play there. It was tough to see from our vantage point exactly how quick Kevin Burgoyne got there. 37 seconds left first half. It's tied up at 7-7. The Raiders have it 1st and 10 at their own 34, right around where the line of scrimmage was before Burgoyne took it 65 yards for a touchdown the last time the Raiders have the football. Gallagher is a setback along with Sin. Stempeck, the quarterback, wide right. Mackin, wing left is Burgoyne. Double reverse, Sin to Burgoyne. Burgoyne takes it wide right as he looks to sweep and looks to turn the corner and does for a couple out to about the 36-yard line, maybe the 37. Ryan Gregan bounced him out across the way. Clock stops with 26 seconds left here in the first half. Give them a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Raiders at their own 36. That was the same play that the Raiders ran last week against Fairhaven when they had time running out in the second quarter. Last week they got a big play about it, but this time the Mounties did a good job of stringing things out. Ryan Gregan also and Tim Brisbane did a good job getting containment on the far side and just kind of ran Kevin Burgoyne out of bounds.
Bliss is in wide left. Sin will be a slot left. Gallagher's the lone setback, and the wing on the right is Burgoyne. Anderson's tight right. Second down play for Stempeck and company. Burgoyne in motion, and here's the pitch to Burgoyne. Sweeps it left. Being chased by Rosieri. Burgoyne to the 40, and Burgoyne knocked out of bounds near sideline at the Raider 43-yard line. We got a penalty marker on, I believe, MSJ coach Tony Singali. He was arguing about something here. It picked up 7 as it was, and we had a penalty marker down. Clock stops with 20 seconds left, and it's on the MSJ coaching staff, I'm pretty sure. It would be 3rd down, less than a yard for the Raiders at their own 43. 15-yard penalty here, and the Raiders have a shot to put more points on the board with 20 seconds left in the first half.
They'll get the ball down about the 40-yard line. I'm not sure what Coach Singali was complaining about. I'm not sure if he was still upset about the pass interference call a few plays earlier, but a big penalty there. It gives the Raiders a ball about the 40-yard line. Just trying to have a chance with John Stempeck to throw something in the end zone, try to get a big tip play or something like that, or they're trying to maybe get Kevin Burgoyne outside like they have been so far.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Raiders, the Mountie 42-yard line. Wide left, it's Mackin. Burgoyne is a wing on the right, couple of setbacks behind John Stempeck. Stempeck drops it back now. Looking, drops it way back, sets up the screen, and it's tipped and complete to Burgoyne. At the Mountie 38-yard line, he was dropped immediately, but we got penalty markers down as he was tackled immediately by Scott Oustlay. It might have been McGrath that tipped it initially. I'm going to say it was only back to the line of scrimmage is where Burgoyne caught the football and was tackled immediately, but we'll see what the penalty marker is all about here.
They tried to set up the screen that time, but the Mounties did a good job of reading it, and they had more people out there in the flat than actually the Raiders did, and they're lucky to come up with the interception. The ball was tipped. It might have been by McGrath, and Kevin Burgoyne able to get the completion, but they didn't really pick up any yards. There is a penalty.
Yeah, went back to the line of scrimmage. 14 seconds left first half. It's 7-7, MSJ and Rutland, and we'll see. Possibly an ineligible receiver downfield, but As long as the linemen stay behind the line of scrimmage.
I think as long as the receiver catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, the lineman can go downfield a little bit, but not, it's like a cushion there, I believe. But we're not sure what it is. We haven't yet to see a signal, and they haven't talked to any one of the team's captains yet. Now they're talking to Scott Oustlay.
That was a dangerous pass because it was set up the screen, and as you mentioned, a lot of Mountie defenders there.
Also, the fact that the play was on the far sideline, if one of the Mounties could have got it, he had a clear sailing down the far side there, so kind of a dangerous play there, and Stembeck kind of hung the ball up.
It is an ineligible pass receiver downfield against Rutland High. That is not a loss of down. It's a 5-yard penalty.
I think more important at this stage of the game is not the fact that it might be a loss of down, is the fact of the time, and the Raiders, I think, have called the timeout.
And we'll keep it right here. It's first down and 15. Well, here comes the Water Gang, so we do have a timeout on the field, but it doesn't look like Coach Beerworth. Okay, Beerworth is coming out now. Timeout on the field. We'll be back after this 30-second break.
Doing a good job of being set up for that. Call out some kind of pass. We'll see what they can do with the John Stembeck's arm.
Lomo goes wide right, slot left for going, wide left Bliss. Carey is the lone setback. First and 15 for Stembeck and company. John drops it straight back, looking, still looking. Shoots it right, complete to Bliss, and Bliss is stopped initially by McGrath, finally goes down around the Mountie 44. It only picks up a couple, and that is the end of the first half as time runs out here. And quite a first half of action here in the 58th MSJ Rutland football game at St. Peter's Field. At halftime, our score, Rutland 7, MSJ 7. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout.
Your warm friends at Patches Petroleum.
Kevin Burgoyne for Rutland, and Matt Curran will be doing the booting here for MSJ. A 7-7 ball game. To say the big in the big games, any game really, the first couple of minutes of a ball game, first couple of minutes of the second half, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what they say, the biggest part of every football game. Matt Curran getting set. Here's the kick. We're underway second half. A ground ball. It will take a couple of hops to Burgoyne at the 17-yard line. Gets it up across the 25. Still on his feet across the 30 and dropped right around the Raider 31-yard line. A whole bunch there to drop him. Craig Stevens was there and Seitz was there as well, but a whole bunch of people down to make the stop for MSJ. Mike Mulcahy was down there. And they're going to mark it at the Raider 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for Rutland High. Just underway here in the second half in a 7-7 ball game.
Well, no, Willie McGrath is still on the Mountie bench, and I believe I'm trying to figure out who came in for him at the defensive end slot.
Burgoyne and Carey, the setbacks for Rutland High. John Stempek, the quarterback. Ken Bates is in. Playing tight end on the left side. Anderson tied right. Belomo in motion right to left now. Stempek on the handoff to Carey, and Carey takes it left. They're going to snuff it out here. He's going to lose a couple. Back inside the 30 as Mike Mulcahy was there to make the tackle. Brisbane came up as well. Mark it at the 30. Lost about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 for Rutland High.
Steve Carey not getting a lot of carries in the first half because of the fact that the Mounties control the ball. Also, the Coach Beerworth likes to rest him for the defense. Also, save him here for the second half. We expect to see it more of Carey and Burgoyne in the backfield here in the second half.
Mackin is in now. He's wide right. Keith Parker over the football. Tight left is Anderson. Belomo a wing on the left. Carey and Burgoyne to the setback. Second down play. Burgoyne in motion right to left. And the wing back reverse to Belomo. Nothing doing. Ryan Gregan was in there to make the hit and lost a couple back to the 26-yard line. Keith Deloge was there as well.
Keith Deloge got a good job of getting some penetration, but Ryan Gregan just snuffed it out from the backside. And again, Ryan Gregan all season long has really stepped up and filled in the slot for Mike Oustlay. Ryan wasn't starting along with Mike in the linebacker slot, but he's really picked up slack when Mike Oustlay went down.
That lost 4, and the Raiders have it 3rd down and 15 at their own 26. Burgoyne, Belomo, and Bliss all wide right. One setback, Carey behind Stempek. Stempek on the pitch to Carey. Sweeps it right, looking for room across the 30. Gets it out to the 35-yard line. Picks up pretty good yardage. A pick up a 9, but far shy of 1st down territory here. Scott Oustlay and Ryan Birkenhead on the tackle. It'll be 4th down and about 6 for the Raiders, just shy of their own 35. They'll have to boot it away here.
Mountie defense holding very strong here in the opening drive, forcing Justin Washburn to go back and punt again for the Raiders, and the Mounties should get fairly decent field position if they can handle the punt and stay away from the penalty.
Washburn back to his own 20 to boot it away. Scott Oustlay and Birkenhead back deep for MSJ around the Mountie 30. Penalty markers down as Washburn gets the boot away. It angles toward the near sideline. It goes out of bounds right around the MSJ 40. We'll see. Somebody undoubtedly was offsides here. Which team was it? There's some more argument here on the near sideline, maybe as to where that ball went out of bounds. I don't know if that's what it's all about.
I think that's what the Mountie coaches.
Well, maybe they're
upset about that.
Maybe they're upset about the penalty here because the Raiders believe it's on the Mounties. 9:30 left, 3rd quarter. It's 7-7 Rutland and MSJ. Now, if it is MSJ offsides, it's certainly not a 1st down for Rutland, unless the penalty is something else here. It might be.
It looked like he gave a sign for an eligible man downfield. He must have read the sign wrong, the official did. Oh, they're jumping for joy.
The Raiders, they have a 1st down, but I still haven't seen any indication from the officials here. It could have been holding on the receiving team.
The question there is before the punt. If it's before Washburn punts the ball, it's the defensive holding. That's an automatic 1st down. If it's after the punt, it's just a holding penalty, and they take it off when the ball was knocked out of bounds.
I don't think it's automatic, but it's a 10-yard penalty. It would give them a 1st down. Illegal motion against Rutland. It's illegal motion against Rutland. That's where the referee pointed. There is some confusion here as to, now if that were the case, you'd think MSJ would decline the penalty and take the ball at their own 40. They are still discussing the situation here. 9:30 left, 3rd quarter. It's 7-7, MSJ and Rutland. It's either one or the other. I don't know what the big problem is here.
Now they're talking to the Raider co-captains about the play and pointing towards the Mountie side.
Still fourth down, I think. That's what the indication is from Stenpeck and Burgoyne. Were they both on? Head calls for a fair catch at his own 25-yard line with old friend Justin Anderson right there in front of him. He also caught that touchdown pass from Scott Oustlay, the 12-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter. Birkenhead will be tight right, Greg Oustlay tight left. It'll be Beraldi wide right, Stevens the up back, and Roseri the deep back out of the eye. Oustlay barks him out 1st and 10 for the Mounties, their own 25. Handoff goes to the first man through, Stevens, and Stevens picks up pretty good yardage up to the 30, pick up a 5. And there on the tackle was Jacob Downey. Nathan Palomo also there. It'll be 2nd and 5 for MSJ on its own 30-yard line.
Stevens did a good job. He kept getting hit, but kept turning those big legs and able to pick out about a 5-yard gain. A pretty good gain on first down.
Now Seitz is in. He'll be the up back out of the eye. Roseri the deep back. Wide right, Beraldi. Tight left, Greg Oustlay. Tight right, Ryan Birkenhead. 2nd and 5 for the Mounties, their own 30. Early going third quarter. Oustlay on the option. Pitches it back to Roseri. And Roseri turned the corner, but only got back to the line of scrimmage. Burgoyne and Downey were there on the tackle. So it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Mounties at their own 30.
Kevin Burgoyne did an outstanding job that time, coming up from his defensive cornerback position, made a nice open field tackle on Roseri and stopped the option play for about no gain.
8:20 left third quarter. It's 7-7 MSJ and Rutland, and MSJ has it 3rd and 5, its own 30. Now wide left, Ryan Birkenhead. Slot left, Roseri. The up back is Stevens. Deep back, Beraldi out of the eye. 3rd down play for Scott Oustlay and company. Scott drops it back, looking, still looking, and his pass is knocked away. It goes incomplete. I believe again it was Ken Bates who slapped it down. He did that once in the first half as well, and MSJ will have it 4th and 5 at its own 30. They'll have to boot it away here.
Again, Kenny Bates did a good job getting some penetration, stepping into the passing lane we talked about. He's about 6'3", got the big arms up and just snuffed out the pass. That's the second time he's done that to Scott Oustlay in this game.
Burgoyne and Gauthier back deep for the Raiders around the Raider 32. Scott Oustlay back around the Mountie 18 to boot it away here. 8:02 left third quarter. It's 7-7. Snap is a good one. And Oustlay gets the boot away. Nice spiral. And Burgoyne will field it at his own 32. Fakes the reverse. Takes it right. 35, 40. Penalty markers down. 45. Burgoyne down at the Raider 46-yard line. Ryan Craig making the tackle for MSJ. But we'll see what the penalty marker is all about. Actually, a couple of penalty markers down here. Back upfield. They might wipe this off the board. It is a clipping call against Rutland High. From the point of infraction, it'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Raiders.
Ever since we had that long delay here where the referees are trying to decide about the penalty, both teams are kind of in a funk. It seemed the delay has kind of taken them out of the rhythm, and we had the Mounties didn't get a first down here. The Raiders get a penalty on the punt return, and it's going to back them up. They would have had real good field position, but now they're going to be back about their own 20-yard line, it looks like.
Let's see where they mark it. 15 yards from the point of infraction, the clipping penalty against Rutland High. And the Raiders will have it at their own 20. 1st and 10 for Rutland High at that point. It's 7-7, 7:48 remaining here in the third quarter at St. Peter's Field. Huge crowd for the 58th annual MSJ Rutland football game. Keith Parker over the football for Rutland. Palomo's in the backfield now with Chuck Gallagher. Wing on the right is Burgoyne. Now they shift. Palomo's a wing on the left, and Raiders are in what they call the load formation. And the handoff goes to Burgoyne, sweeps it left, and they're going to snuff it out. It loses a yard back to the 19. Another penalty marker down. And getting over there to make the hit, Ryan Birkenhead. We'll see what the penalty marker's all about here. It's holding against Rutland.
So really, Raiders kind of self-destructing at their second major penalty. That time Ryan Birkenhead just came knifing through there, cut into the backfield and wrapped up Kevin Burgoyne before he even got going. And but with the penalty, it's going to push him back about the 10-yard line or so.
It would if they accept the penalty. Apparently, they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage. Willie McGrath is okay. He's in. Holding call against Rutland. You got to accept the big ones if you're looking at it from that point of view, and they do.
Especially this defense that the Mounties have. They're a type of defense that can just hold you for 3 downs and out. And maybe back here, the plays are very limited. They get a turnover here. We talked about the halftimes, a big turnover. This is a situation where the Mounties can get a big turnover, get a big momentum sweep for him, and put himself in an excellent scoring position.
1st and 20 for Rutland at their own 10-yard line. Burgoyne and Gallagher are the setbacks. Bliss is wide left along with Palomo. And Stempek's gone all the way at quarterback, barks him out. Stempek takes it right on the option, fakes the pitch and keeps and picks up about 3 out to the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 17 for the Raiders. Mike Mulcahy on the stop for MSJ.
So Ryan Berghead coming up strong. They're trying to run the option, but they got about 5 yards out at that time. But John Stempek did a good job of getting what he could.
6:45 left, third quarter. It's Rutland 7, MSJ 7 as Matt Mackin trots into the football game for Rutland High School. The Raiders have it 2nd down and 17 at their own 13-yard line. Mackin is wide right. Anderson tight left, wing left Belomo. A couple of setbacks behind John Stempek. Stempek now goes to the second man, Belomo, the wing back. He takes it right, nothing doing. Picks up a couple to about the 15, maybe the 16. Willie McGrath on the tackle. Picked up 3, but still the Raiders had it 2nd and long. It's now 3rd down and about 14 for the Raiders at their own 16-yard line.
When you run a reverse play like that, you're hoping to catch the other team out of position. That time the guys on the backside, Craig Stevens and Willie McGrath did a good job of holding the position and making the big tackle for the Mounties.
Now it's Bliss in, wide left, Belomo wing on the right, and Burgoyne and Gallagher the setbacks. 3rd and long for the Raiders, their own 16. And a handoff to Gallagher straight ahead, good yardage across the 20 out to about the 24-yard line. Picks up 8, but still far shy of first down yardage. Pete Mazzilli on the tackle, and also Jeremy Fleming in there on the stop for MSJ. So it'll be 4th down and about 7 for the Raiders at their own 24-yard line, and they'll have to boot the football away here. Oustlay and Birkenhead back deep for MSJ around the Mountie 43. Washburn goes back to the Raider 10 to boot it away here. And the snap is a good one. And Washburn gets the boot away. And it's a good boot. It goes to Oustlay at his own 44-yard line. He's tackled immediately by Eric Gauthier. Well, the Mounties go on the offense, 1st and 10, their own 44. Tie ball game at 7-7, 5:05 left here in the 3rd quarter at St. Peter's Field.
We talked about both teams having strong punting games, and at that time Justin Washburn got off a booming punt, good high kick, and Eric Gauthier able to get down there and nail Scott Oustlay just as he caught the ball and got no return. But even though it was that all happening, the Mounties have pretty good field position about the 43-yard line.
And the football game now offensively for MSJ. Jason Caruso.
He could be in the unbalanced line.
Yep, the unbalanced line. Mark it between the hash marks. 1st and 10 for the Mounties, their own 44-yard line, going right to left here in the 3rd quarter. Full house backfield. And the handoff to Stevens straight ahead. Stevens across the 45, and he gets a couple of tough yards out to the 48-yard line. After he was hit initially, picked up 2 or 3 more. Anderson and Carey on the tackle as he backed his way out to the 48 and ended up picking up close to 5 yards on that. It's 2nd and 5 for the Mounties at their own 48-yard line.
Craig Stevens did a good job running hard. He has all season. In this game, he's done a good job, especially in the second half. Got hit very hard by Justin Anderson to line of scrimmage, but Craig able to spin out of it and get a few more yards out of it.
McGrath will be tight left. Tight right, Greg Oustlay. Operate out of the power eye, the deep back Birkenhead. Seitz and Baraldi, the outbacks. Behind Scott Oustlay. Oustlay now in the handoff to Birkenhead across the 50, and he dives his way ahead to the Raider 45. Picks up 7, and it's a Mountie first down. Ken Bates on the tackle for Rutland High. So it's 1st and 10 MSJ, the Raider 45. 7-7 the score. 3:55 left, 3rd quarter here at St. Peter's Field.
Back to vintage MSJ power football. They're just running their big, strong running backs into the line. We talked about the offensive line does a good job opening some holes. Also, all 3 running backs do a good job blocking through one another, and that helps you get those extra yards.
Running over the football, they mark it between the hash marks. Again, the Mounties operate out of the power eye behind Oustlay. Scott Oustlay barks him out now. That's the snap. Hand off to Baraldi, off right tackle. Breaks the tackle. 40, 35, Baraldi 30, and down at the Raider 28-yard line. Matt Baraldi. Tackle finally by Kevin Burgoyne. A pickup of 17 and a Mountie first down.
Matt Baraldi showing excellent quickness here. A good hole at the point of attack. It will just keep running through a couple arm tackles, broke a few tackles, and then Kevin Burgoyne able to stop him.
They're going to mark it at the Raider 29. 1st and 10 Mounties. The Raiders with a timeout. We'll be back after this 30-second break.
And the Fushi Company's hallmark of achievement.
a timeout there, similar to a basketball timeout. Another team gets a big run going, kind of just to break the momentum. Really not that much you can say. The guy's just kind of tough enough. They're not going to make any adjustment. Just wants to try to slow down the momentum the Mounties are getting.
Stevens and Baraldi, the up backs, and Birkenhead, the deep back out of the power I. The ends are tight. Scott Oustlay on the deep handoff to Birkenhead off left tackle, and Birkenhead scoots his way for 4, close to 5 yards down to the Raider 25. Belomo on the tackle. Gary was over there as well. We're going to mark it at the Raider 25. Give them a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for MSJ.
Again, the Mounties just alternating their power backs. We've seen Baraldi, we've seen Birkenhead a couple of times. We also saw Craig Saia start off, and they're just keep rotating fresh backs in there. Always have fresh legs back in the backfield.
Now out of the power I, Baraldi is the deep back. Again, the ends are tight. Second down play for Oustlay and company. Oustlay on the handoff to Baraldi off right tackle, and he picks up 1, maybe 2 down to the 24, maybe the 23-yard line. Justin Anderson there to trip him up for Roughlin High. They're going to mark it at the 24. Pickup of 1. It'll be 3rd and 5 for MSJ.
The time Justin Anderson able to get some penetration and kind of draw things up. Craig Saia is back in the game. He and Nate Seitz are alternating, bringing in the plays from the bench into Scott Oustlay.
Jeremy Fleming leads him out. He's over the football. 3rd and 5, MSJ at the Roughlin High 24-yard line. 2:25 left, 3rd quarter. Tied up at 7-7. They operate out of the I deep back. Birkenhead, the up back is Stevens. Baraldi a wing on the left. And the handoff to Birkenhead off left tackle, and Birkenhead down to the 20-yard line, maybe just inside the 20. They had to get to about the 19. He picks up 4. It'll be 4th down and about a yard for MSJ. Ken Bates and also Matt Mackin on the tackle. They're going to mark it at the 20. The Mounties have it 4th and 1 at the Raider 20-yard line.
Mounties will be going. We'll look for Scott Oustlay to run the quarterback sneak. What he does, a lot of times he just goes up there. He'll pick which side he thinks he wants to run to, tap the center on that side of the backside and go to that side of the field.
They're just playing a football game to this point as the Mounties operate out of the power I behind Oustlay. 4th down play. And Roughlin High jumps off sides. This will give MSJ the 1st down at the Raider 15-yard line.
Good job there by Scotty Oustlay going on the long count. Hit one of the Huts very hard and drew him off and got the 1st down the easy way. And again, the vintage Mountie drive here in power football. But again, all season long, the Raiders defense has given. But when they got down to the red zone, hit the tough area inside the 20. They've been able to stiffen up.
So it's 1st and 10 for MSJ at the Roughlin 15. 1:36 left, 3rd quarter. It's tied up at 7-7. Mounties again out of the power I. The deep back is Matt Baraldi. Oustlay barks him out. Oustlay on the handoff he fakes the handoff and takes it right. They're going to stuff this out as it's going to lose yardage all the way back to the 23. That was a delayed reaction. Baraldi carried it out nicely, but didn't have the football. Getz was the man that hit Oustlay first, along with Kerry. Lost yardage back to the Raider 22-yard line and lost about 7. It'll be 2nd and 17 for MSJ, and that was a big defensive play by Roughlin High.
What happened was Scott Oustlay got his feet tangled up with Matt Baraldi, and that allowed the Roughlin defenders to get some penetration and nail him for a big loss.
So 2nd and 17 for MSJ at the Raider 22-yard line. Less than a minute left here in the 3rd quarter, a 7-7 ball game. Oustlay drops it back. Oustlay looking, being chased, rolls right, throws, and it goes incomplete at the Raider 8-yard line. Birkenhead almost came up with a great catch. He was hit as soon as he touched the football.
Ball thrown the inside a little bit. Ryan Birkenhead went up to make a catch, and he got hammered. I'm not sure by who. One of the Roughlin defenders hit him very hard and separated Ryan from the ball. Ryan's getting up a little shaky, but he seems to be all right. And again, almost a spectacular catch by Ryan Birkenhead, but hit very hard by the Roughlin defenders just as he caught the ball.
Not sure if that was, it was tough to tell from here. It might have been Luke Dauphin. He was over there.
Kevin McGuire was over there too, but I'm not sure actually who hit him.
3rd down and 17 for MSJ at the Raider 22. 7-7, 40 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Scott Oustlay on the pitch now to Birkenhead, and on the reverse to Raziri. Raziri is going to be dropped for a loss of about a yard. Mackin and also Belomo both over there on the tackle. A little razzle-dazzle for MSJ, and they lose yardage back to the Raider 23. The Mounties have it 4th down, about 19 or so. And let's see if Matt Curran's going to attempt a field goal here. He is. It'll be marked down at the left side hash mark at the 29-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard field goal attempt, slight angle off to the left for Matt Curran. A 39-yard field goal attempt. Oustlay puts it down. The kick by Curran is up, and the kick is just short, no good. And Rutland takes over. Matt Curran almost had one there. It was just short. And Rutland goes on the offense, 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line.
Hey, Matt Curran gave that one heck of a ride. It's very tough to get a field goal from about 40 yards in high school football. The corner runs down, and Matt Curran gave it a great shot.
And that's the end of the third quarter. After 3, it's Rutland 7, MSJ 7. Back after this 30-second break. There's a quarter, MSJ and Rutland. Rutland going right to left here in the fourth quarter. MSJ going left to right. And Curran came ever so close to putting the Mounties ahead.
The ball kind of hung up in the air, and you could see the people on their sideline here, on the Mountie sideline, kind of pushing it with their hands, hoping to get a breeze going and blow it over. But Matt Curran gave it a heck of a try. A 39-yard field goal is an awful long kick for a high school kid.
And if there is a one, I believe that was against the wind, ever so slightly here. Full house backfield behind John Stempeck. Burgoyne, Downey, and also Palomo. As the handoff goes to Burgoyne, sweeps it right. Burgoyne across the 30, and Burgoyne gets it out to the 36-yard line. Willie McGrath on the tackle. A 16-yard pickup for Kevin Burgoyne. He almost broke it. McGrath very well could have had a saving tackle there. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 36-yard line.
Renville Cutter coming back. Kevin Burgoyne cut it upside. Broke a couple of tackles. Was cutting to the outside, trying to get to the outside, to the sideline. But Willie McGrath again making a big tackle and probably saving at least a big gain there, if not the touchdown.
Lomo, Downey, and Burgoyne. Full house backfield behind Stempeck. The ends are tight. Anderson left, Bliss right. First down play. Handoff to Burgoyne. Nothing doing this time. He loses yardage back to the 33. Big tackle by Ryan Cragen. They lost 3. It'll be 2nd down and 13 for Rutland High. Actually, give them a loss of 4 as they're going to mark it at the Raider 32. 2nd and 14.
They try to run a sweep to this side, and Ryan Cragen read it excellently. Cut right behind the pulling guard and wrapped the backfield, the back up in the backfield, and knocked him down for about a 4 or 5 yard loss.
11:05 remaining fourth quarter. It's 7-7. MSJ Rutland football game has never gone into overtime. Keep that in mind. Full house backfield behind Stempeck. Inside handoff to Burgoyne. Breaks one tackle and takes it right, but he is stopped after picking up only a couple. And on the tackle, Keith Coloche was over there. Ryan Birkenhead looked like it was going to get more than it did initially as he avoided one man, picked up about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 14, we'll call it, for the Raiders at their own 33-yard line.
One of the linemen got a hold of Kevin Burgoyne. Didn't bring out the pull him down, but kind of threw him off stride. That allowed Keith Coloche and Ryan Birkenhead to come up and make a tackle. Again, Ryan Birkenhead making a lot of big tackles here in the second half.
Anderson, tight right, wide left, Bliss. Downey and Burgoyne are the setbacks. Palomo wing on the right. Palomo's in motion right to left as Stempeck barks him out. Stempeck drops it back, looking, shoots it down the middle, and it goes incomplete down around the Mountie 38. Palomo almost came up with it. He was the intended receiver. Brisbane, Birkenhead, and Oustlay were defending well, but Palomo had a shot at it and almost came up with a great catch. It'll be 4th down now and 14 for the Raiders at their own 33-yard line. You know, I noticed one thing, and I'm not sure if Steve Carey will be in offensively again or not. He might be, but perhaps Coach Beerworth is saving Carey for the defensive side of things here.
He's been doing that all season long, and he needs him because Steve, from the middle linebacker, makes a lot of big tackles on that Raider defense.
Washburn back to his own 19 to boot it away for the Raiders to either Birkenhead or Oustlay. Back around the Mountie 35-yard line. Snap a good one, and Washburn gets the boot away. And this is a booming kick that Oustlay calls for a fair catch at his own 31, and that's where the Mounties will go on the offense. 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line, going left to right here in the fourth quarter. 9:58 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's 7-7.
What a great game again. Justin Washburn coming up with a big punt there all game long. Guys have been stepping up to the front and making the big plays. We've had just a one turnover, the Steve Carey interception, the Scott Oustlay pass in the first half, but every time you turn around, somebody's making a big play for both teams, and it's been just a great game here. We have about 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
We're going to mark it at the Mountie 32. 1st and 10 MSJ. Oustlay has Stevens and Baraldi the setbacks. Birkenhead a wing on the left. He's in motion. Greg Oustlay is wide left. And the handoff goes to Stevens straight ahead. And Stevens for a couple out to the 34. Luke Dauphiné was over there on the tackle. Downey was over there as well. It'll be 2nd and 8 for MSJ at their own 34.
Last time the Mounties had the ball, they put an impressive drive down into about the 20-yard line of the Raiders, and then they had the mix-up in the backfield, and they were able to knock Scott Oustlay down for about a 6 or 7 yard loss, and the Mounties never able to recover on that. And we'll see if they can put another drive like that together.
9:30 left, fourth quarter. It's MSJ 7, Rutland 7. And his sights of the setbacks now. McGrath tight left, tight right, Birkenhead. Wing on the right as Rosili's in motion right to left as Oustlay barks him out on second down. Oustlay drops it back, looking, shoots it down the middle, complete to Birkenhead, 45, 50, and Birkenhead is down at the Raider 45-yard line, and the penalty marker is down across the way. It might have been a late hit. Matt Mackin made the tackle, and they might be tacking a 15-yard penalty on this one. After the play, as it was, it picked up great yardage down at the Raider 45.
You talk about big plays. Again, Scott Oustlay with excellent time to throw the ball. Ryan Birkenhead came all the way across the field. Scott Oustlay put it right on the money. Matt Mackin made a nice open field tackle, but there was a penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Raiders, and they're going to add 15 onto it. That's a huge play.
Well, it picked up 21 on the initial play. It was a 36-yard pickup after the 15-yard penalty for a late hit, and MSJ has it 1st and 10 at the Rutland 30-yard line. 7-7 ball game. Left side hash mark. Deep back Rosili. The up back is Stevens out of the eye. Veraldi is a wing on the right. Scott Oustlay on the deep handoff to Rosili off right tackle, and Rosili is punched under at the Raider 28. Pick up of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. Eric Bliss on the tackle along with Jacob Downey for Rutland High.
Again, the game plan working very well for the Mounties here in the second half. Able to pound things out with the ground and then go to the air for the big play. The only problem is they haven't been able to put any points on it. Is again, as all season long, we're talking about how the Raider defense bends, but when it gets down in time, the crunch time, they're able to turn away the team and not give up that many points.
Second down, a long 8 for the Mounties at the Raider 28-yard line. It's marked between the hash marks. Couple of setbacks behind Oustlay. Wing on the left, Birkenhead is in motion left to right. And the handoff goes to Sice, and he's tripped up after maybe picking up a yard. It looked like Justin Anderson got a piece of him. Justin Anderson on the defensive play for the Raiders picked up about a yard down to the Raider 27. It'll be 3rd down, about 7.
And with this situation here, where they are in the field, I would think the Mounties are probably in 4-down territory, so they have the option of trying to get it all here on this one play, or try to get like 5 or 6 here and then go for a 4th down and short.
Coming down on 8 minutes left, fourth quarter. It's MSJ 7 and Rutland 7. Right side hash mark. MSJ has it 3rd down, a long 7 at the Raider 27-yard line. Sites and Veraldi are the setbacks. Rosili a wing on the right, and Willie McGrath took off too quickly offsides. MSJ. Somebody also almost jumped defensively for the Raiders, but they got back. The Mounties are offsides. They'll mark it back to the Raider 32-yard line. And MSJ will have it 3rd down and about 13.
Another tough penalty there for the Mounties. In this situation, look maybe for Scott Oustlay to roll out while he has the option to pass or run. He is a great runner. Very important that the Raiders try to get some sort of pass rush on him.
Actually going to mark it at the Raider 33-yard line. 3rd down, 13 for MSJ. Right side hash mark. Scott Oustlay barks him out. Oustlay gets the snap. Play action as he bumps into his own man. Being chased. He's going to keep. He's got it at the 30, 25, 20, and down at the Raider 19-yard line. Very close to 1st down yardage. Jacob Downey on the tackle. Scott Oustlay. It was a broken play all the way. He bumped into his own man. Kept himself. Took it down the near sideline and got it inside the 20 to about the 19. Just about where they had to go for the 1st down. And they have called for a measurement here. Clock stops with 7:26 remaining fourth quarter in a 7-7 ball game. Big play there by Scott Oustlay.
As Jack said, a broken play. Scott ran into one of his tailbacks in the backfield, kind of threw off the timing. That just goes to show how dangerous Scott Oustlay is. Ad-libbing in there, broke a tackle on the open field of one of the linebackers for the Rutland Raiders to get to the outside, and Jacob Downey will come up and make a big tackle and stop him, I guess, just short of the 1st down.
It'll be 4th down in inches for MSJ at the Raider 19. It's 7-7, 7:26 left fourth quarter here at St. Peter's Field. Huge crowd, this 58th annual MSJ Rutland football game.
The Mounties will be going for it, and the way they've been running the ball, it's a good choice. Look either for Scott Oustlay to do the quarterback sneak, or maybe one of the running backs on a quick pop play.
Actually, they're going to mark it. The nose of the football is inside the 20, but we'll call it the 20. 4th in inches for the Mounties, the Raider 20. Full house backfield behind Scott Oustlay as he barks him out. Oustlay on the snap, and he goes to Seitz straight ahead, and Seitz doesn't get much, but he didn't need much. Got it down to about the 19, and we got a penalty marker down against Rutland High anyway, and whether he got the first down or not, it's another personal foul against Rutland. They've already had one here on this drive. And it looked like it was Eric Bliss who was a little bit overzealous. So regardless of whether...
I think Seitz might have got the first down with his momentum, but he was hit up very hard. 3 or 4 of the Mounties, the Raiders hit Nate Seitz. He kept going. In fact, Camera-Merle actually stole the ball from Seitz after the whistle had blown. I think just the fact that everybody kept trying to get the extra yards, a little overzealous, and Eric Bliss got called for the penalty, a tough penalty there for the Raiders. That moved the ball down about the 10-yard line.
Seitz didn't need much. He didn't get much. Looks like they got the first down. Okay, they personal foul against Rutland.
I think what they're ruling is that they're going to measure the first down, and then after the play whistle, that's what they're going to add the yardage on from.
That way, because they would pick up another first down, right? So it's a 10-yard penalty, and they just got first down there. It's got to be a first down at half the distance to the goal line. They're going to have it just inside the 10. It's first and goal for MSJ at the Raider 9-yard line.
I think what they're saying that since it's half the distance to the goal line, they're inside the 20. It's like a 9.5-yard penalty. So they got first and about a half a yard.
Yep, they do. They have first and a half a yard. That's what it is. First down in inches for MSJ. That's right. First in inches for MSJ at the Raider 9-yard line. Mounties operate out of the power I behind Oustlay. And Oustlay on the handoff to Beraldi off left tackle, and he's got the first down, and he's done a lot more than that as he's dropped at the Raiders 7-yard line. Now it's first and goal for MSJ at the 7, and Luke Dauphiné on the tackle along with Steve Carey. So actually, they got an extra play there is what happened.
He had an extra shot.
They gave him the first down first, then a half the distance to the goal line.
Which it turned out to be about a 9.5
because it wasn't a 10-yard penalty. That's if it were a 10-yard penalty, it would have been another first down, but it was half the distance to the goal line. First and goal for MSJ, the Raiders 7 of a 7-7 ball game. 6:47 left, fourth quarter. Power I for the Mounties. Hand off to Beraldi straight ahead. Picks up about a yard. That's it as he's down at the Raiders 6. Keith Parker was there. Let's see where they finally mark it here. It'll be second and goal for the Mounties at the Raider 5. Apparently that's where they're going to mark it. Well, just outside the 5. We'll call it the 6.
They'll probably keep on the ball on the inside, or maybe they'll fake the ball and have Scott Oustlay on the bootleg try to go on the outside because the Raiders really pushing hard to stop things to the point of attack.
Right side hash mark. Get a timeout here, but we'll wait. Neither team called for the timeout. I think it's an official's timeout.
But I think he wants to push make sure the Rutland coaches don't get on the field, make sure they stay on the sideline. They want to get down and yell as much encouragement to their team as they can.
Now Rutland wants the timeout. It's 7-7, 6:18 left, fourth quarter. We'll be back after this 30-second break.
The Ginger Tree.
Mike Martin, 6:18 left in the fourth quarter here in the 58th annual MSJ Rutland football game at St. Peter's Field. It's MSJ 7, Rutland 7. MSJ has its second and goal at the Rutland 6-yard line.
I'm not sure if they charged the Raiders with that timeout or not. Coach Beerworth spent the entire timeout talking to the referees to the officials about some call. He never actually got out and talked to his troops, and that may be it. That may hurt the Raiders, but he spent most of the time, I'm not sure what he was arguing about, but he spent the time talking to the officials and never got out and talked to his defensive unit.
Going to mark it at the right side hash mark. Second and goal for MSJ at the Raiders 6-yard line. It's 7-7. 6:18 left, fourth quarter. Fleming leads him out. Greg Oustlay tight left, Willie McGrath tight right. Birkenhead the deep back, and Seitz and Stevens the up backs out of the power I behind Scott Oustlay. Oustlay barks him out. Oustlay on the deep hand off to Birkenhead. Takes it right. He's inside the 5, driven out of bounds right around the 2 or 3 yard line here. Eric Bliss over there on the tackle. Burgoyne was over there as well. Paloma was over there. See what they mark it as they bring it toward the middle of the field here. It'll be third and goal for the Mounties. And they're going to mark it at the Raider 2.
tough running down there. Again, Ryan Burkhead doing a good job in this series and last series, able to get a good yardage, but he kind of got strung out, ran out of real estate down there in the corner of the field.
Clock stops with 6:11 left, fourth quarter, in a 7-7 ball game. Third and goal for MSJ at the Raider 2. Stevenson sights the up backs. Beraldi, the deep back, out of the power I. Oustlay now on the handoff to Beraldi. Takes it left, and Beraldi is in. Touchdown! MSJ takes the lead. 13-7, 6:07 left. Fourth quarter, Matt Beraldi, who took it left, as he didn't see anything up the middle, backs his way in from 2 yards out. A 2-yard touchdown run for Matt Beraldi.
A good job there by Matt Beraldi. As Jack said, there was nothing inside him but pop outside. Mackin came up very quickly, got his arms wrapped around Matt Beraldi, but Matt just able to muscle into the end zone. He didn't get over by much, but he just broke the play of the goal, and the Mounties get a huge touchdown as they go up 13-7.
Big extra point here. Scott Oustlay, the holder. Matt Curran, the kicker. MSJ takes the lead. 13-7. Snap is a good one. The kick by Curran is up, and the kick is perfect. Boy, it takes them a while before they come to a decision, those officials today. 14-7, MSJ will be back after this 30-second timeout. Matt Curran with a kick. 6:07 left in the fourth quarter here at St. Peter's Field.
An impressive drive by the Mounties. They just run it on the ground. They got the big pass play to Ryan Burkhead. Also a couple big unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against the Raiders. They gave the Mounties about an extra 25 yards. And some of the Mountie players are trying to get the crowd here going up. They're already in a frenzy. It's like putting gasoline on a fire. It's a very vocal crowd here, but still a lot of spirit across the way on the Raider side.
Jeff Sin and Kevin Burgoyne back deep. A lot of time left in this football game. Up about 10 yards. It's Downey and also Chuck Gallagher for the Raiders as Matt Curran gets set for the kick here. Huge crowd at St. Peter's Field. MSJ has taken a 14-7 lead. 6:07 left, fourth quarter. The kick by Curran along the ground. Picked up by Sin at the 17. Sin across the 20, near sideline. 25, and Sin across the 30 and driven out of bounds right around the Raider 33. Willie McGrath on the tackle. Jeff Sin returned it for great yardage, and again, Willie McGrath could have made a saving tackle there as he did earlier.
Well, the few times I've seen Jeff Sin back there returning kickoffs, and they did a good job. He's very fast as it's deceptive speed. Doesn't look like he's going that fast, but gets there very quickly. And then Willie McGrath with another big tackle. Really played a great game offensively and defense. And there's been a lot of players on both sides that have played outstanding games.
6:01 left, fourth quarter. MSJ 14, Rutland 7. The Raiders have it first and 10 at their own 33. Romo and Mackin are wide left. Carry up near the line of scrimmage. He's back in. Burgoyne, the lone setback. The pitch to Burgoyne. Burgoyne sweeps it right across the 35 out to about the 36. Picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Ryan Birkenhead on the tackle for MSJ.
Again, Ryan Birkenhead has really come alive here. Got a lot of big runs here in the touchdown drive. Got the big pass reception also here, making some tackles on defense. And he is a very quick player. Maybe not quite as fast as Kevin Burgoyne, but also has good speed and able to track Kevin Burgoyne down.
Bliss is in. Burgoyne gets a breather now. 2nd and 6. For the Raiders, they're going to mark it at the Raider 37-yard line. Right side hash mark. Couple of setbacks behind Stenpeck. On the handoff now to Sin. Sweeps it left, and they're going to snuff it out at the line of scrimmage. Sin getting back to the line of scrimmage will be 3rd and 6 for the Raiders. Greg Oustlay was over there. Ryan Birkenhead was over there as well. And some help. Larry Heer in on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and 6. Lost about a half yard. 3rd down, a long 6 for the Raiders at their own 36-yard line.
The big 3rd down here for the Raiders. The way the Mounties have been controlling the ball, the Raiders might not get the ball back if they don't get a 1st down here.
4:45 left, fourth quarter. 14-7 MSJ. Belomo and Mackin both wide left. And on the pitch, it goes to Sin as he sweeps it right. Sin is stopped and breaks a tackle and stopped again after picking up a couple. Ryan Reagan was over there. And also Ryan Birkenhead. The two Ryans, and the Raiders will be faced with a 4th down here. That actually only got back, maybe picked up about a yard out to the Raider 37. As actually Sin broke a tackle once, but was unable to get any extra yardage, so it'll be 4th down and 6 for the Raiders. They'll have to boot it away here.
I went to the practice at Rutland this week, and they were working on fake punts. This might be the time for them to do it. If we talked about there's about 4 minutes to go, the way the Mounties been controlling the ball, they might not get it back.
Washburn back to his own 22-yard line to put it away to either Oustlay or Birkenhead. And Washburn gets the kick away. It's another sailing punt. Hits at the Mountie 30. They're going to let it roll inside the 25, inside the 20. Still rolling. And finally down at the Mountie 15-yard line. What a booming punt by Justin Washburn.
About a 51-yard punt.
Yep, 51-yard punt by Justin Washburn. A boomer. And now it's up to the Raider defensive unit to get their hands on the football as soon as they can. It's up to the Mountie offensive unit to control the football here. 3:46 left, 4th quarter. It's MSJ 14 and Rockland 7 here at St. Peter's Field.
All the Mountie backs do a good job of holding on the balls. They want to stay away from the fumble. Unofficially, we have the Raiders at just 1 timeout. They can only stop the clock once here. We have 3.5 minutes to go.
Right side hash mark now, running over the football. Couple of setbacks, and Birkenhead and Seitz in motion now Rosieri left to right. As the handoff goes to Seitz straight ahead, and Seitz for about 3 out to the 18. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Mounties at that point. Keith Parker on the tackle along with Steve Carey. Clock running, 3:07 left, 4th quarter.
Again, we don't expect to see anything fancy here from the Mounties, just kind of sticking on the ground. Make sure all backs, make sure they're holding on to the ball with both hands. They've got the big backfields in there now with Birkenhead, Stevens, and
of course, the Raiders will be looking for the ball hawking defensively. 2nd down for the Mounties at their own 18-yard line. And the handoff goes to Birkenhead as he takes it left, and he's going to lose yardage as Palomo brings him to the ground, back around the 16, lost a couple. Nathan Palomo on the tackle. Clock running, 2:28 left here in the 4th quarter. MSJ with the 14-7 lead. They'll mark it at the 16, lost a couple. It'll be 3rd and 8 for MSJ at that point, their own 16-yard line.
Obviously a very important 3rd down situation here. They got about 8 yards to go. If the Raiders can stop them, they should be able to get the ball back, and they should have some time and also fairly decent field position.
They'll mark it at the left side hash mark. Seitz and Beraldi are the out backs, and Birkenhead the deep back out of the power I. As the handoff goes to the Oustlay kept it. Well, yeah, Oustlay keeping it himself and getting it out to about the 20. Couple of fakes there. Picked up about 4. But shy of 1st down yardage, Washburn and Bliss on the tackle. They're going to mark it out to the 21. Scott Oustlay has done that to me a couple of times this year. He's done a heck of a job hiding the football. But the Mounties will be faced with a 4th and 4 at their own 21-yard line. Back deep for Goyne and also Jeff Sin for the Raiders around their own 45. Oustlay gets the kick away, and this will hit at the Raider 48, and it's blown dead by Craig Oustlay at the Raider 45-yard line. So the Raiders are 55 yards away from the tying touchdown. With 1:12 left in the 4th quarter, the Mounties lead it 14-7.
We've seen 2 of the better punters in the state today, with Scott Oustlay there getting a good moving kick, high kick, no return. Also Justin Washburn for the Raiders, a few big kicks, and the Raiders got to go 55 yards in a 1:09. They have 1 timeout to go.
Clock is running, right side hash mark. Wide right, Mackin. Palomo, wing on the left. Couple of setbacks behind Stenbeck. Less than a minute left in the 4th quarter. And we have finally penalties. Stenbeck pulled away from the center too quickly. It'll be a legal procedure against Rockland High.
It's very important the Raiders get back in the huddle, get their play going. They got to get in and out quickly, get the play called, and get back to the line of scrimmage where the referee is marking off the penalty.
It'll be 1st and 15 for the Raiders at their own 40-yard line. Right side hash mark. 48 seconds left now in the fourth quarter. The Mounties lead at 14-7, and somebody else jumped too quickly for Rutland High, the left guard. It was Steve Blanchett, and they're going to mark it back to the Raider 35, and they will have it first down and 20 with 45 seconds left here in the football game. We're in the fourth quarter. We say in the fourth quarter because there is overtime, of course. And now Rutland wants the timeout with 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 14-7 MSJ. We'll be back after this 30-second break. Run by Matt Baraldi. With the extra point. Mackin is wide left. The fans are on their feet here near side. They're going also a slot on the left. They have a man wide right. Paloma, one setback behind Stempeck. He drops it back. Stempeck looking. He shoots it right. It's incomplete. He overthrows everybody. Actually underthrew his intended receiver, either Burgoyne or Paloma around the Mountie 43, but the closest man on the football was MSJ's Willie McGrath. It'll be 2nd and 20 for the Raiders. They're on 35 with 39 seconds left in the ball game. 14-7 MSJ.
Those two offside penalties really hurt the Raiders. It looked like they were going to run some sort of running play before, but now they're in a passing situation. They've got, not only did they lose 10 yards, but they lost a few seconds off the clock with those two penalties. And definitely the Mountie coaching staff telling the defensive backs to get way back, make sure nobody gets behind you.
Anderson's tight left. Downey is the lone setback. Couple of men wide right. Burgoyne and also Bliss. Stempeck second down. Paloma in motion left to right. Stempeck play action, drops it back, shoots it right, and it goes incomplete. As he overthrew his intended receiver, came up short, right around the Raider 38. It'll be 3rd down and 20 for the Raiders at their own 35. 35 seconds left in the football game. MSJ in front 14-7.
He wanted to get Kevin McGoyne in the flat. What he was hoping to do is get the ball to Kevin. Maybe Kevin could break a tackle and get down the sideline, but John threw the ball just a little bit too hard, and Kevin a little high, and Kevin couldn't quite gather it in.
Right side hash mark. Parker over the football. Mackin wide left. Burgoyne is a slot left. Carry the lone setback, and Paloma is the wing on the right. He's in motion right to left. 3rd and long for Stempeck and company. Stempeck drops it back, looking. Shoots it long. He wants Burgoyne, and it's intercepted by Oustlay. Past the 40. 45 as he takes it left. And he finally goes down as he retreated at his own 42-yard line. And MSJ will have the football with 22 seconds left. And MSJ has the lead, 14-7. MSJ is on the verge of winning this 58th annual MSJ Rutland football game and getting the #1 seed in the playoffs next week.
Johnny Stempeck threw the ball about as far as he could, but Scott Oustlay did a great job. He was the deep safety, the free safety, read it very well, came over there and stepped in front of Kevin McGoyne and picked it off, and the Mounties just have to run out the clock now.
And the clock is running. Down to 9 seconds. Raiders can't stop it. 5 seconds left. And MSJ is going to win this one. MSJ has won it 14-7. MSJ wins the 58th MSJ Rutland football game here at St. Peter's Field before a huge crowd, and MSJ gets the #1 seed in the upcoming playoffs. They will host a playoff game here a week from today. Of course, the Raiders will be in action, and we'll know more about that here in a couple of days. That's your final. MSJ 14 and Rutland 7. This also breaks Rutland's 2-game winning streak in the City Classic. Also, Tony Singali's first win in the City Classic since taking over as head coach a year ago. The series now stands 29-23. Rutland with 6 ties, and it was a beautiful football game. That's your final. MSJ 14, Rutland 7. MSJ wraps up the regular season at 8-1. Rutland wraps up the regular season at 7-2.
Oustlay, the quarterback, in just a second, but Willie McGrath had an outstanding game. And I mentioned Matt's touchdown being a big touchdown, Willie, but that first one, that 12-yard pass play that you caught from Scott Oustlay, that was a big one, too. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know. It was my first, and it just felt great to be in the Rutland game.
That was your first varsity touchdown.
Yep, it felt great. It was just 42 a while ago, delay. that's what it went great. It went perfect. Exactly as designed.
I know, Willie, a lot of pressure was on you as you played well all year, but a lot of pressure on you because of the injury to Matt Sharon and so forth. And you knew that, of course, that cuts down an extra pass receiver, and you knew that people would be keying on you, right?
Yeah, me and Ryan both. Ryan did a great job today, picking up the slack. Matt Sharon, he talked to us both before the game, and asked us to do it for him. So that's what we did.
Now that was offensively. You had a heck of a game defensively too, Willie. We're talking to Willie McGrath. MSJ has defeated Rutland 14-7. We're in the postgame show. Defensively, you played a heck of a game. As a matter of fact, if I can remember correctly, there were 2, I thought, touchdown-saving tackles that you made in this game.
I don't know. Just coaches told me to stay outside and watch key out of the backfield, and that's what I did. It worked perfect.
You played a super game, and you're to be congratulated. Congratulations. I know you have to be happy about being the number 1 seed, too.
That's great.
All right, we'll let you enjoy this for a while, Willie. Thank you. And we're going to talk to Scott Oustlay here in just a moment. 7 win over Rutland, and Tony Zingali's first win in the City Classic. With us is the quarterback, Scott Oustlay, and of course plays on both sides of the football. Scott, your first win in the City game. Of course, you won a couple of state title games, but this one has to be extra special too.
Yeah, winning this one means a lot because we go to 8-1, and we're the top seed, and probably we'll end up playing Essex next week. And we've beaten them up there, and I think they play a lot better home, and hopefully going back to Essex for the States in 2 weeks.
Handling the football, of course, your passing game has been coming along since you started as a quarterback, but the way you handle the football, you only faked me out twice today. It was 4 times, I think, against Essex a couple of weeks ago. Only twice today, so you're slipping a bit, Scott. No, but actually you just handle the football so well. Is that something you could practice on or not? Yeah,
last year I didn't do that well, but early in the season we worked on our fakes a lot because I knew that would be a key part of our offense, because if they could get me to the outside, I could pick up some good yardage for us, and then because they always have to worry about Craig and Nate up the middle, so the fakes help.
Now, you had, of course, the injury to your brother Mike, and that was a big injury, and Matt Sharon a big injury, because in many ways, of course, you like, he's your favorite receiver, undoubtedly, and you don't have it, but Willie McGrath really came to the forefront, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Willie's tall, he's got the hands, and when the pressure comes on, I think he steps up. He did a really well job. Matt wanted to play today, but he was turned down. So Willie and Ryan have been really helping a lot. So when Matt comes back, he'll probably throw to him a lot again too.
What is the story there? Are they both going to be back next year? Can you let it? I mean, not next year, but next week. Can you let us in on a little secret or not?
I don't know, and if I did know, I probably wouldn't let you know.
All right. Well, we'll find out sooner or later. All right, Scott. Congratulations. Super ball game. Scott Oustlay, the MSJ winning quarterback, and of course played well defensively as well. And we want to get a word from Tony Zingali here in just a moment. And as we continue on our post-game show, MSJ has defeated Rutland by a score of 14-7 here at St. Peter's Field, the 58th annual game. I know who Tony's talking about. He's talking to next week's opponent there. Bruce, Tony, come on over for just a second. I see you talking to next week's opponent, talking to Essex coach Bruce Wheeler. Tony, congratulations. Super Bowl.
Rutland has got a good ball club. We respected Rutland all year long. Even when people thought that at times they didn't have the ball club, but I thought defensively that was the whole key to their success. And the big plays, breaking the big plays, which they did today. And that's the one thing we were afraid of. Burgoyne breaking the big play. He did break it and got on the outside on us. And once he gets out there, there's no catching him. But we got to hand it to the kids. They didn't get down. They came back, and we just did a great super job the second half defensively, and just patient with the offense. Ronnie did a great job of mixing up the plays, and we're patient with it. Of course, the penalties really hurt Rutland. We capitalized on it. It moved it all the way down there, and when you get those kind of penalties, it's pretty damn hard to really do a great job of defending the offense, and you can't have those happen in this kind of a ball game. We've been through it before, and I know that John Beerworth feels the same way. But I thought Rutland played a super ball game, but I think our kids just did a tremendous job today.
Well, they sure did. Now we'll let you go here in just a minute or two, Tony. Of course, those two big plays you were talking about, two personal foul penalties against Rutland on your winning drive before Baraldi cracked it over with 6 minutes plus left for the game winner, as MSJ has defeated Rutland 14-7. Just a couple of words. You had a couple of guys missing, of course, Matt Sharon and also Mike Oustlay, and you've had to adjust to that a few times. They've been injured 2 different times. We've already talked to Willie McGrath, and he did a super job, and also Mike Mulcahy. We haven't mentioned Mike. What a great job he's done this year, too.
Well, Mike, is an underrated ball player. He stepped in there for Mike. Offensively, he's a tough kid. He did a great job for for us on offense. He took over on defense, and Willie wasn't too accustomed to that position over there, but he's done a super job for us all year, offensive, defensively. He did a great job on corner today. All we expected from him, and I think the kids just played just what we expected from them. We wanted them kids to play good area football, covered our holes, which they did, Jack.
And one other thing, Tony, I know you won the state title game last year against Rutland, but you lost the regular season game. This is your first one as head coach, so it has to be extra special.
Well, this year is an extra special ball game. We lost them the last 2 years, Jack, and going in this ball game, we really wanted this ball game. I think we talked it up all week. The kids were pumped up, and I think they were up for this ball game.
And this time you get the easier route to the state title game. Not easy. You got Essex, but you got them at home, and in the last couple of years you had to take the more difficult route.
Well, I tell you, Essex, we saw them last night. They're an improved ball club, Jack, and defensively they played super football last night, and they're tough on defense, and we expect the same kind of defense out of them as we do out of Rutland. But, we've got to move the ball against Essex, and we've got to control the ball against them.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. Congratulations. We'll catch you this coming week, okay?